I always admire loyal owners, and Frank and Alison Clarence have always been very loyal owners and loyal to Jonathan Lauer, and allowed him to keep this ride instead of Richard Dunwoody.
Well, Woody on Flaky Dove, of course, here, so presumably he had the choice of that. But Jonathan Lauer, that would be interesting if they do hold Valpine up, because it went so fast at Wincanton. I thought a shade too fast. Muse just being circled there and led in, just looking a little bit mulish here. So they'll turn him in circles, but good time to join Peter O'Sullivan.
Yes, just as you say, Richard, it's Muse planting himself at the moment. He's very slow away in Cheltenham, but he's not slow away today. He's jumped up in the lead. Colton from Danoli and Flaky Dove with Shawia fourth as they come to the first of the 11th flight. Muse, clear of Danoli, Flaky Dove, and then Shawia, then Valpine, then Fortune and Fame, and Moleboard. Behind them, Halcopus and Colton, just the back marker, and Muse making this a really strong gallop under Paul Holly as he comes to this final flight over the far side on the first circuit. Second flight this time. Danoli is second, and third is Flaky Dove, and behind them come Shawia and Moleboard, and Fortune and Fame, and then Valpine, Colton, and Halcopus, in fact, the back marker. A long run towards the next flight with Muse very well clear. Muse from Danoli and Flaky Dove. Long run to the next flight, which is the first in the straight. This, of course, the last race before the Grand National, which the great Irish trainer Vincent O'Brien won 3 times, from 1953 and 55, a hat-trick. So an opportunity to wish Dr. O'Brien, as he is now, many happy returns on this, his 77th birthday. Meanwhile, Muse comes to this flight, clear, number 3 in the Martell Aintree hurdle, a long way clear of Danoli and the champion hurdler Flaky Dove. Just in behind them, Moleboard and Shawir, and behind them Valpine, Fortune and Fame, Halcopus and Colton. Over the fourth, and Muse. From Danoli, who didn't jump that terribly well. Flaky Dove is in third, and 4 Moleboard, 5 Shawir. Then Fortune and Fame and Valpine. Muse clear at that one. And as they run down to the winning post with another complete circuit in the Martell Aintree hurdle, it's Muse under Paul Holly, who rides the stable companion, Mighty Falcon, in the Grand National, about 10 to 12 lengths clear of Danoli, Flaky Dove, and behind Flaky Dove is Moleboard, then Shawia, then Fortune and Fame, and Valpine on the inside, Halcopus and Colton, and Muse maintaining this considerable advantage as he goes over to the far side, still in second as the Cheltenham winner, Danoli, followed by the champion hurdler Flaky Dove, then the Triumph Hurdle winner, Shawia, and behind them, Moleboard, Fortune and Fame, the Irish champion hurdler, then Valpine, Colton, and Halcopus. Muse's lead just marginally reduced now as he comes to the first flight over on the far side. This is number 6 of the 11 flights. Muse clear of Danoli. Flaky Dove going very well in third. Shawir on the outside. Moleboard, Valpine on the inner. Then Fortune and Fame, Colton, and Halcopus. Come to number 7. Muse clear of Danoli, but Danoli moving up quite ominously on the outside now. On the near side, Flaky Dove, right over on the far side, Moleboard with Shawir. Muse from Danoli as they come to the 8th. Muse on the inside of Danoli. These two maintaining this very strong gallop indeed as they race now towards the home turn, with Moleboard moving up there as well. And getting just in behind the lead now, Fortune and Fame of the sheepskin noseband running very strongly. Shawir on the inside, and it's still Muse with the advantage. Muse from Danoli. Then comes Flaky Dove on the inside, Fortune and Fame and Moleboard. Moleboard nearest to us. They're rounding the home turn now with 3 flights left to jump, and still Muse from Danoli. Fortune and Fame just in behind them with Flaky Dove and Molboard towards the outside. And these 5 a long way clear now of Chawira and Valfine as they come down now towards the third last. Danoli comes to challenge Muse and to take it up. Molboard travelling well towards the left of the picture. Danoli lands in the lead from Molboard. It's Danoli from Molboard now as they race down towards the second last. Danoli and Charlie Swan, the Irish champion from Molboard. Danoli by about 3 from Molboard. Then comes Fortune and Fame in third place. This is the final flight in the Aintree hurdle. Danoli, the Cheltenham winner, jumps it 4 clear of Molboard. Then comes Fortune and Fame, and then Muse racing into the closing stages of the Martell Aintree hurdle. It's going to be another triumph for Tom Foley and his owner Danny O'Neill as they race up towards the line. And it's Danoli, the 6-year-old, getting tremendous applause from the crowd as he races to the line. The winner of the Martell Aintree hurdle. Fortune and Fame and Molboard are going to be in a photo for second and third, with Molboard gallantly just holding the Irish champion. Fortune and Fame out of second place with 4th Muse. 5th came Flaky Dove, a disappointing English champion hurdler there, followed by Chawir, and then a long way back, furlongs behind, are Coton, Valfine and Hal Copus. And so the result: first, number 2, Danoli, owned by Mr. Danny O'Neill, trained by Tom Foley in Ireland and ridden by Charlie Swan, the 9-2 winner. And officially it's a photo for second place, but little doubt that number 5, Molboard, owned by Mr. Wally Sturt, trained by Jim Old and ridden by Tom Grantham, held Fortune and Fame, owned by Dr. Michael Smurfit, trained by Dermot Weld and ridden by Adrian Maguire, out of second place. But this is the winner, Danoli, by the Parson out of Plays Gold. And what a marvellous double for this horse to complete Cheltenham Festival and the Aintree Grand National Meeting.
They reputedly turned down £200,000 for this horse before he ran at Cheltenham, and what a brave move that was for a gelding. It's a big sum, but he's come here in this staying race and really won well.
Yes, you immediately said this is the one for the champion hurdle next year. I wonder if it's for the 3-mile hurdle, because the conditions today were so testing, and this is really galloped to the ground. I thought, just in the back of your picture there, Fortune and Fame was absolutely cantering turning into the straight. I thought Flaky Dove was going very well turning the straight, but they just didn't get home in these very testing conditions. But what a good horse this is.
Yes, Danoli has come home by a very wide margin. Well done to Wally Sturt's old horse there in second place. He really has run well, Molboard, and Fortune and Fame just probably a neck back.
That there are going to be no parades at Newmarket. Well, of course, they wouldn't have had the Whitbread Showers at Newmarket in any case. But they're not going to parade before the Classics. That will please some trainers. It certainly won't please those who, like McCririck and I think, believe that racing is an entertainment, and the horses, that people love to see the horses. They really enjoy watching not only the Whitbread Greys, the Whitbread Showers going down, but also the chasers who become their favourites over the past season, and in many cases over many seasons.
Well, that's a sight worth coming to see in itself. And there's another one, Young Hustler. Yeah, David Bridgewater is right in saying that he's in remarkably good form. There hasn't been a more consistent horse over the last couple of seasons. Been a tremendous servant for Nigel Twiston-Davis. And after falling heavily at Kempton just after Christmas, it looked for a long time as though he was never going to get up. He came back, bounced back at Cheltenham with his best ever run. 3rd in the Gold Cup, not beaten far. And this course will suit him in as much as the fences down the far side come quite close together, and a good horse over those 3 railway fences, and the far side certainly can gain a couple of lengths. Let's have a look at Topsham Bay. There's Jimmy Frost running through his form guide. I think he's more of a spring horse than a top of the ground horse, this. He's got quite a rounded action. I don't think the little bit of give he's going to be getting this afternoon is going to upset him too much, his form. Although the bare facts don't look all that hopeful, certainly when you look into it, there's a lot more there to encourage you.
He's huge. He's almost as big as the Whitbread Shires, and here's one who's only half the size of a Shire. Doctors Express, not all that large, but a tremendous heart, and almost as consistent as Young Hustler. Not quite as often in the winners' enclosure, but he has been many, many times, and all the signs are this season that he's coming right to his peak at the right time. It was really impressive at Aintree.
I credited Jamie Osborne with riding him at Aintree. In actual fact, it was Richard Dunwoody. Norman Williamson riding him this afternoon. Let's have a look at Flashing Steel. Tall horse, this. A lot to like about him. He's the sort of horse he could have gone and done anything. He's just got that sort of make and frame to him, and was doing his best work in the closing stages of the Gold Cup. Richard Dunwoody taking over the ride on this horse, and he's ridden him on many occasions, done a lot of the early preparation with his education.
And here is the winner of the Folk War win, Kim Muir, at Cheltenham. Fighting Words, one of Josh Gifford's two runners, and the one with very, very much better chance than Savour, who stays well but takes a rather long time about it. Fighting Words doesn't take that long. He got the better of a tremendous battle with the committee at Cheltenham, which certainly proved his courage. Whether it proved sufficient merit to win this off 10 stone, I don't know. Fighting Words was quite a long way behind Antonini in the racing post at Kempton. News from John Mack now.
Well, on the boards, the favourites are flip-flopped. Antonin from 3-1 out to 7-2, with Flashing Steel 7-2 into Burlington Bertie 130. But on the rails, I can still hear them calling 7-2 each of two. Now, good strong support for Young Hustler, trying to emulate Charlie Fortin in 73. Third in the Tote Gold Cup, come on to win the Whitbread 5-1. That's tight. Also good support for Docklands Express to win it for the second time. Also put in very tight 5-1. 8-1 bar, that's Topsham and Fighting Words. You can get 66-1 now against Savour from 100. It's very close for favouritism. Just Flashing Steel on the boards at Burlington Bertie, 100-30.
And here is Antonin with John Burke claiming £5. The last time a 6-year-old won was taxidermist, and I still claimed an allowance, but I wasn't allowed to in those days because the Whitbread was too valuable. I don't know why that change has come about, but John is certainly first-rate value for his £5. He knows Antonin really well, and the further they go in this race, as you saw at Kempton, the better it will suit Antonin. The one thing he does is stay. He also jumps. Sometimes his jumping in the early stages of a race isn't all that impressive, but the further they go, the better he jumps and the better he stays.
And the starters' orders for the 38th Whitbread Gold Cup. An extended 3.5 miles, 24 fences to jump. And Flashing Steel just taking a turn at the start. Superior Finish taking a turn. Flashing Steel 130, Antonin 7-2. And the starters asked them to all take a turn. Superior Finish just jogging a bit down at the start. He's coming in under Jamie Osborne now. Flashing Steel, that's it. They're racing for the Whitbread Gold Cup. Down towards the first of the 24 fences, and it's Young Hustler and Topsham Bay. Young Hustler, Topsham Bay, Docklands Express the inside as they come to take the first. They're at the first and Topsham Bay led, and they're all safely over. Down towards the second and open ditch. It's Topsham Bay the inside, a Superior Finish, and then Young Hustler 1, 2, 3. Followed by Docklands Express, and then O'Cologne, and then Antonin and Savour with Usher's Island down wide. Behind these come Flashing Steel, and then Catch the Cross and Fighting Words, and Amersham is sharing last place with Fighting Words as they come past the enclosures for the first time. And Superior Finish is going on. Superior Finish then passes the post for the first time. They've got 2 complete circuits of the course to go, and it's Superior Finish under Jamie Osborne leading. From Topsham Bay in second, and then Young Hustler showing third, Docklands Express the inside of Antonin. And then just behind these comes Usher's Island and Savour, and O'Cologne and Flashing Steel and Fighting Words wide of Catch the Cross, and the 250-1 outsider Amersham is the trailer as they swing right-handed and make their way down towards the third. Superior Finish clear by 3 lengths to Topsham Bay, then Antonin the outside of Young Hustler and Docklands Express, followed by of the inside Flashing Steel, and this is fence number 3, the downhill fence. The Superior Finish leading coming into it on the left of the picture. He pops over safely, and they're all over fence number 3. And it's Superior Finish leading then as they turn towards the back straight. Superior Finish by a length and a half to Young Hustler in second, Antonin wide of Topsham Bay 3 and 4, Docklands Express, Usher's Island, and then Fighting Steel, followed by Annie O'Colony, Catch Across, Fighting Words, Savour and Abersham, and they've all jumped the 4th. Savour is just the back marker. Come down towards the 5th. And it's Superior Finish, but Young Hustler getting competitive. At the rear of the field, Abersham made a slight mistake. Down towards the next ditch, and it's Superior Finish leading. At the rear of the field, Savour was slow there. Superior Finish by length to Young Hustler in second, and Anthony in third, and Docklands Expression, Topsham Bay, and then Fighting Words, and Flashing Steel the inside as they leap the water jump, and a superb jump by the one in front, and that one Superior Finish, our leader. Superior Finish by length and a half to Young Hustler in second place. Superior Finish leading as they come towards the first of the island fences. And it's Superior Finish with Young Hustler and Antonin jumping well. The outside of Docklands Express, and then Topsham Bay and Fighting Words. And after these, Usher's Island. Down towards the middle of the railway fences. And they are jumping like experienced chasers should. Superior Finish just has the edge, but Young Hustler the outside, and then Antonin. So they begin the turn out of the back straight for the first time. Superior Finish from Young Hustler, Antonin, Docklands Express, Topsham Bay, then Fighting Words, followed by Flashing Steel and Usher's Island, and then behind these comes Abersham and Savour the inside, followed by Annie O'Colony, and Catch the Cross is just the trailer, and they head down towards fence number 11. Flashing Steel, the 130 favourite, Antonin at 4-1, is on the right of the picture in the red cap. Young Hustler at 9-2 is in the firing line, so too Docklands Express. So this is fence number 11 they're coming to now, and it's Superior Finish, but only just. Young Hustler the outside, they're in the air together. Antonin's going with them on the outside. Docklands Express the inner in those light blue colours. Topsham Bay, the very pale colours, the red cap. Red colours, that's Fighting Words. The yellow and maroon, Usher's Island. The favourite, Flashing Steel, the black jacket with the blue sash. Jumping this, the 12th fence in about 8th place. Just followed by Annie Colony, Abersham the outside, and Catch the Cross. Down towards fence number 13 then. This is an open ditch. Coming to it, the Young Hustler has gained the day. It's Young Hustler doing the work now, and he does jump well. Over that, Abersham made a mistake. Young Hustler the leader then, as they race up past the enclosures with a circuit to go in the 38th Whitbread. And it's Young Hustler, the top weight. And David Bridgewater from Superior Finish and Antonin getting within half a length of the lead, and Topsham Bay and Fighting Words, and then Docklands Express. These are followed by Flashing Steel and Catch the Cross and Usher's Island. There's all to play for, all in with chances, including Abersham, the rank outsider, who's last or sharing last place with the grey side there, and Annie O'Colony, but they're no more than 10 lengths off the pace as they turn right-handed towards fence number 14. Side there just being pushed along. Down the hill they go then, down towards 14 of the 24 they jump. And it's Young Hustler spearheading the field. Antonin to the right as we look at with the red cap. Red colours further right, that's Fighting Words. Superior Finish in the white and black, and Docklands Express close enough. The favourites on the left, Flashing Steel, this is the 14th, and they've taken it, and Flashing Steel made a slight mistake there. But still, a mile and a quarter to go. Turning into the back straight, at the rear of the field, side there gets a reminder. Young Hustler leading then as they level up down the back straight. It's Young Hustler leading by length to Antonin, the Superior Finish, and on the inside Docklands Express is getting closer. Then Fighting Words and Flashing Steel and Usher's Island and Topsham Bay. Then Abersham and Catch the Cross, Annie O'Colony is towards the rear along with side there. They take the next, there's no change. It's Young Hustler and Antonin. The two young pretenders doing battle. Docklands Express, oh, a great jump by Docklands Express the inside, and we've got a line of 3 as they head down towards the water jump, and it's just Antonin going on. Antonin by length, the Young Hustler, and then the inside, the far side as we look at them, is Docklands Express, and then Fighting Words, and Flashing Steel and Usher's Island getting competitive. A gap of 3 lengths opens up then to the others who are headed by Topsham Bay. They head down towards the next. And it's Fighting Words that's come to join for the fun, and what a brave jump there. Usher's Island, a slight mistake. And it's Fighting Words on the right under Pip High coming to take this one. Fighting Words from Young Hustler. And then Docklands Express and Anthony being ridden along, and Flashing Steel. And this is the last on the far side, and it's Fighting Words in the lead, being given a terrific ride by Pip High, the leader, by a half a length. And then into second place, Young Hustler has got the inside. These are followed by Docklands Express, Norman Williamson biding his time. Anthony, has he done his running? Flashing Steel for Ireland being pushed along, and then Usher's Island, and the rest have dropped out the back. So they've got 6 in it with chances as they come down to the third last in the 38th running of the Whitbread Gold Cup. And it's Young Hustler who's come back to join them. Young Hustler the inside, a bit of running rail went there for Docklands Express. It's Young Hustler the inside of Fighting Words, and Anthony coming back to get competitive. That's 3 out. Young Hustler, Docklands Express, Fighting Words, Anthony, and then Flashing Steel and Usher's Island staying on. They turn into the home straight. This is the top weight. Young Hustler with 2 to jump in the lead. Docklands Express, the 91 winner. Red colours, Fighting Words, 2 out. Young Hustler, Docklands Express, Fighting Words, Anthony and Usher's Island and Flashing Steel. They just got 1 more fence to jump. And Fighting Words in the red colours. The yellow cap, Docklands Express, they do battle. Then comes Young Hustler. Here comes Usher's Island with a strong run off the base. Fighting Words, Docklands Express going on from Fighting Words. Here comes Usher's Island for Charlie Swan. And they're inside the final furlong. And it's Usher's Island going on from Docklands Express. Revenge is sweet for Charlie Swan. It's Usher's Island who takes it. Usher's Island the winner. Anthony flew for second. And Tote third. Docklands Express and Fighting Words. Then came Flashing Steel. Then came Young Hustler, and behind Young Hustler was Topsham Bay, and then There and Anio Coloni, and then came Catch the Cross, and then Abersham. And so the result then of this, the 38th running of the Whitbread Gold Cup, it's gone to horse number 7, Usher's Island, at 25 to 1 in the colours of Mr. R.W.L. Bowden, trained by Howard Johnson and ridden by Charlie Swan. And revenge is sweet indeed, because he's got this. He beat Docklands Express in a controversial finish in 1991, but he's won this on Usher's Island, getting revenge over Docklands Express, who, well, he's come through to third place. The second horse home is Anthony, and what a tremendous run he's come there in the red cap on the left, but the yellow colours, that's Usher's Island. He's veering away from the final fence over to his right, the left as we look at them. This running rail certainly has helped. But this is Usher's Island coming to the home to land only his 5th win in his career. But what a win, and what a win for Irish champion Charlie Swan. Bided his time, came to challenge, and that is very nice.
Well, it's lived up to its reputation for producing wonderful finishes. Sandown and the Whitbread, you can't get anything better. At this stage, you might have thought that Docklands Express was going to do it again. He's come to take it off Young Hustler. Anthony in the red cap hasn't got going yet, really. Fighting Words is beginning to struggle, but behind there, Charlie Swan, the man who rode Caervillehow and had the race taken off him, brings Usher's Island up between Antonin and Docklands Express, and old Docklands can't do any more.
A fantastic race this, and at the second last, well, you could have been on any one of 6 horses and thought you were in with a chance, and Charlie Swan's given this horse a smashing ride. I thought they went plenty sooner if they were kicking for home a long way. They went a decent gallop all the way. He's just bided his time, and victory very sweet.
Well, he's fully entitled to every ounce of happiness he's got, because he was arguably unlucky on Caervillehow. He certainly.
With us now, Bernard Gover, the owner of Lady Fairfax, and of course, kingpin of Madagans, who sponsored this whole festival here. How we know this is going well. How well is Lady Fairfax going?
Lady Fairfax couldn't be better. She looks absolutely superb. Ron Boss is convinced she's going to win by at least 15 lengths. I've never known
there by 15. You're nearly there.
Well, I'm sure she'll be certainly no more than 15 lengths adrift, let me put it that way. I'm not quite as confident as Ron Boss, but I'm sure she will win nonetheless. Absolutely so.
Oh, no, that's a sponsor talking. Tell us, but when we at Kempton, it was very, very heavy going. How does she handle much faster ground?
At Kempton, the only danger we foresaw was the ground. This ground should suit her perfectly.
And Rob Boss says that too.
Yeah, I think she could win me on her back today, I really do.
It should be no problem.
No problem at all. No. Perhaps we'll see after the race, you never know. Things may change during the race, but at the moment I'd say no trouble at all.
That's what we like to hear. Confident speaking.
Absolutely.
Well, Madagans, a well-known debt-collecting company, and Mr. Gove will have several bookmakers in his debt should his filly wins. Good luck to him. But there are other galloping clues still to be considered. What of Lady Fairfax, who won the Masaka Stakes at Kempton? Let's take a look at her. John, I thought this was a performance that augured well for the filly's prospects maybe in the Oaks, but Ron Boss disagrees, says that she only just stays.
Well, I think she's a very powerful filly. You might be right about her going for the Oaks later, but she's quickened up well on ground that you just heard the owner say didn't suit her particularly well. It's, all of those fillies having their first run of the season, and as we saw earlier, that Crazy For You, she certainly didn't disgrace herself in the last race. Let's have a look at Fairy Heights now. A very impressive filly. She finished up last year running second to King's Theatre in the Racing Post Trophy. But before that, she'd put in a tremendous run at Ascot, winning the Fillies Mile there, coming wide into the straight. Cash Asmussen rode her on that occasion, and really did impress me then, Jim.
Oh, she looks tremendously well. Of course, one of the leading fancies for this particular race, but drifted in the betting after her performance here in the Nell Gwyn Stakes. Admittedly, there she was conceding weight with Prophecy to Metcalfe. But in view of her two-year-old form, you have to say that initially her performance looks disappointing. However, take it another way. As they jumped out of the stalls, the one thing Frankie Dettori wanted her to do, and Cash Asmussen got her to do at Ascot, she had a variety of jockeys, this filly, is settle. If you go through the early stages, no filly pulled any harder than this. She races with her head a little bit high, she didn't relax and drop the bridle, and as a result, the first part of the race was spent fighting her rider, and you do that in a race like this, it doesn't give you much chance of relaxing and producing your speed at the end of the race. The trouble is, with this afternoon in mind, is there might well be a similar occurrence. Michael Kinnan taking over today. Michael, of course, hails from Ireland, and what of the Irish challenger? That is Las Meninas, run just twice, but her second run marked her as a very good filly. She was a very game second to Turtle Island in the Heinz 57 Phoenix Stakes, running on splendidly.
Tommy Stack brought this over with Gail again, who won at Cheltenham last night. Not the most impressive of individuals, Las Meninas, but as Jim said, certainly got the forward, and that second to Turtle Island was a good run. Nice big ears, very honest filly. Just got my doubts as to whether she's going to be good enough.
Well, talking of big ears, he's listening to what's going on down in the ring, and he's news for you now.
Well, that Las Meninas, one of 6 fillies unraced as 3-year-olds, and since the war, 8 unraced as 3-year-olds have won the 1,000 guineas. Las Meninas put in at 12-1. Now Metcalfe and 5 Nell Gwyn winners have come on to win the 1,000 guineas. Very solid now. Bottle 2-1. They've taken the 9-4 against her. Prophecy trying to follow Altesse Royale in 71. Runner-up in the Nell Gwyn came on to win the Guineas, and 12 Cheveley Park winners have also won it, out to 11-2. France have won it 15 times. 13-2 now is the price against Coup de Génie, and 10-1 Fairy Heights, 5th in the Nell Gwyn, well on the house in 82, was 5th in the Nell Gwyn to Challen, won this at 33-1. She won the 1,000 guineas, is now 10-1 Fairy Heights. 12 relatively special and Las Meninas, unraced, as I said, as 3-year-olds, and 20-1 bar. But the professional opinion says this won't be Metcalfe's day. The public, though, have seen with their eyes how she won the Nell Gwyn, and that's why they're back here to beat Prophecy. Again, the pros don't believe it.
How far, Metcalfe? Whatever they're backing, they've certainly got a lovely day to enjoy themselves, and as John remarked earlier, a healthy crowd here. Certainly a real atmosphere. Coming here and sort of being in the same frame of mind I was as to when we arrived 2 weeks ago for the Nell Gwyn and the Craven. But it's totally different today. The place is buzzing. There's a push and a shove in the betting ring, and a real international flavour to this race. There's the American challenger, Irish Forever, filly by Irish River, beaten just once, and she was unlucky in that Alan Munro rode this filly a piece of work yesterday morning, or a canter I should say, and said that she gave him a tremendous feel, felt really classy, and he's really looking forward to this. He doesn't think she's any outsider by any means.
And Alan Munro, he's had a feed of 2 or 3 good fillies in this race. Certainly Velvet Moon, fast looking filly this. She was well bought, they paid $8,000 for her. It was from Mr. Schneifer, that's owner, and they turned down over $700,000 for her, so let's hope that their faith in her has been vindicated. Woody Carson, I think he's feeling in a confident mood. The way the filly looked going down, looked in good form.
Actually, it'd be lovely if Willie's father's watching. He's not been at all well, spent some time in hospital. I gather he is a little better at the moment, and if he's watching, well, Mr. Carson Sr., well, let's hope it's another memorable day for the Carson family. Well, Max says that the general public are backing her, although the professional opinion is that she won't win. JT now has a full show.
Metcalf is the 2-to-1 favourite, back from 9-4. Prophecy 11-2 from 5-1, and Coup de Genie 13-2 from 6s. Fairy Heights on 10s, relatively special 11-1, and Les Meninas at 12-1, back from 10-1. Balanchine 20-1, along with Mitreline, Dance the Top, and Lady Fairfax, and they go 25-1 bar those.
So what are the eye catchers? Well, John Frankham's done the paddock work. His positive is Metcalf, negative Las Meninas. On the way down, Graham like Metcalf, negative Fairy Heights. In the betting ring, Max says it's Coup de Genie, the one the Shrewdies want to know, and that the real big players, despite the fact that she's shortened on that caption, the real big players are opposing Metcalf. So, the last couple of minutes before the first classic of the season. And John, you've ridden in so many big races. I mean, to someone like me that studies form, when there's little between horses, it's often, to me, like a game of poker. Whoever plays the best hand wins.
Well, we saw that in the Now Gwyn and a couple of the races here last meeting, where there were nowhere near as many runners. You've got to have luck in running, and doesn't matter how good the horse is, if things aren't going your way. Certainly, although you say it's a straight mile, you'd think you'd be able to find a route through. That's not always the case. John Carroll in his first classic. Here's Graham.
Well, it's Rawley, in fact. Just one to go in. That's Round on Air, one of the 3 outsiders. Going in now. 3 of them had to be blindfolded. Dance to the Top, Fairy Heights and Lady Fairfax. It was a bit awkward. There she is with the black cap, white gown. They're all set now. And they're running in the Madagans 1,000 guineas. Round on Air a little bit slowly out, but Dance to the Top gets a flyer and is making the early running. Dance to the Top, 2 off the fence in the red jacket, blue cap. But going right up with the pace now, Balanchine for Dubai, and then Metcalf as well, prominent, relatively special. And right on the outside, just inside Balanchine, that is Fairy Heights. But it's Dance to the Top who is making the running. Dance to the Top and Walter Swinburne leading from Metcalf, the favourite, relatively special, and Balanchine after these Fairy Heights, then Lady Fairfax. They're followed by Mitreline. They're all well grouped, these 15 runners. Towards the back of the field in this early part of the race is Las Meninas for Ireland. Last of all is Coup de Genie for France, and last but 2 is Prophecy there in the pink cap. They're coming down towards the end of the 3rd furlong, with Dance to the Top still making it from the favourite Metcalf, relatively special, Balanchine. So over to you, Graham.
So they're halfway in the Madagans 1,000 guineas, and Pat Eddery and Cash Asmussen playing poker on Coup de Genie and Prophecy at the back. Willie Carson's on the front end on Metcalf. Ray Cochrane's going within the black and white spotted colours, relatively special. Balanchine's in a good position. Randoneur's running a big race. Fairy Heights, the yellow colours coming for room. Las Meninas swerving about the track, gets a run. On the outside, on the left, look at Coup de Genie. Prophecy's buried in behind horses. Dance to the Top, won't be winning. More to play for as they come down at the dip for the final furlong. Now it's Balanchine, Las Meninas with a run. Coup de Genie on the wide outside, but running the rail. Metcalf still just has the edge, 5 across the track. Velvet Moon with a run. Prophecy's finishing fast inside the final furlong, but it's Balanchine, Las Meninas and Coup de Genie, but it's Las Meninas and Coup de Genie, but they race up towards the lead. It's a photo. Las Meninas, Balanchine, Coup de Genie clear from Velvet Moon, relatively special, and the field trail back to Dance to the Top, who was last of all. The Madagans 1,000 guineas. The outcome is a photo, a close call, and a very close thing indeed between number 8 Las Meninas and the colours of Robert Sangster. This one trained in Ireland by Tommy Stack and ridden by John Reid. It's a very close call indeed, but also in that photo is Balanchine in the blue colours. Oh, very close. Balanchine has it won for Maktoum Al Maktoum. This one trained in Dubai by Hilal Ibrahim, the blue colours nearest to us. This one ridden by Frankie Dettori. Has he got his head in front on the line? The judge called a photo. It's going to take a close run thing. Third horse home was Coup de Genie, ridden by Cash Asmussen, who gave this Mr. Prospective filly a dickens of a lot to do, but he's come there on the extreme left. Meanwhile, up front, the horse with the big white face in the centre of the track is Balanchine. John Reed didn't have the best of runs on Las Meninas. Running the rail, Metcalfe, cooked. Prophecy, the pink cap, Pedigree, well, he had a lot of horse and not much room to go. He's delivered his challenge on the inside. Meanwhile, the big three thrusting up front. In the centre, Las Meninas. In the blue colours, the far side, Balanchine. And oh, that's so mighty, mighty close. And Coup de Genie is in third, with I think we'll find Metcalfe in fourth.
I'll give you the starting prices first of all. Las Meninas is sent off at 12 to 1. Balanchine is a 20 to 1 chance, and it looks as though Coup de Genie is third. She went off at 6 to 1. Metcalfe was the 2 to 1 favourite, and the bookmakers are on their dogs. They're on the dog and bone. They're going on to the offices to watch Channel 4, and it's even to Balanchine. They reckon that Las Meninas has won 1,000 guineas and given Ireland its fifth 1,000 guineas. Even money against Balanchine in the photo now. They reckon you can see it on the screen there, the great big Citroen screen being viewed here on the track, and it looks just in the centre there. On the absolute nod, that John Reed has won his third classic. He's edged home Las Meninas just at 12 to 1 from Balanchine.
Well, what a tremendous finish to the first classic of the season, and just as they're beginning to hit the rising ground, it's Balanchine in the blue colours, about 4 off the rail. Metcalfe just beginning to weaken slightly against the rails on this side. Balanchine coming to challenge relatively special. Coup de Genie over on the far side, and John Reed just winding his way out for a challenge on Las Meninas.
A steward's inquiry is called, and the runners now in the dip, beginning to fan out with a big white face. Frankie Dettori about 3 off the rails, I should say, Balanchine, Frankie Dettori on board. On his outside is Las Meninas, John Reed, under a right-handed drive. Pedigree against the rails as we changed shot there, had little room on Prophecy. On the outside of the 2 I called earlier is Coup de Genie rallying now. These 3 draw away. The interference could, of course, involve Pedigree, Lady Fairfax, Willie Carson and Metcalfe on the rails to the right of picture, and not the 3 we see now. Let's watch them to the line. Balanchine, white face to the right, John Reed there, and they're on the line now, and they didn't look to stop riding or anybody to be seriously impaired at any stage. So we take a longer view of the head-on. Let's try and sort possible interference out. They're running down into the dip now. On the rails is, or just weakening the red colours, Walter Swinburne down to the top. Ahead of him is Willie Carson, white face on Metcalfe. Next to him, Relatively Special, and alongside him, Balanchine involved in the photo for first place. On the wide outside is Cash Asmussen, but looking behind at the jockey with a pink cap, pumping for room, pumping up and down. Pedigree looking for room. John Reed, who's on the inside of Balanchine, just checks slightly there. He gets... Yes, he's checked slightly for room, but only slightly so. Pedigree, jockey with the pink cap, keep your eye on him again, because he now switches to the rail, and I think this is where you'll find he has a little bit, or is a little bit short of room going into the closing stages. He goes across Walter Swinburne there on down to the top, filly with red colours, who was weakening anyway, continues to drive, and now I think you'll see he gets impeded slightly by Lady Fairfax, Michael Roberts. Looks to be enough room for Pat at the moment, but that gap is probably going to close now. Up front, I don't think there's anything significant happening. Cash Asmussen on the left of your picture on Coup de Genie keeps riding. I don't think he's impaired, and I think it is that, John, really, that just a bit of scrimmaging there on the inside with Pat Henry.
Next in the betting was the Irish trained Mantari at 5 to 1, but there was not a lot of money for another of the English challengers, Nice, who drifted from 6 to 1 out to 12. Well, let's join our Irish commentary team now for the race.
And here comes Mantari, drawn in stall number 1 on the outside. Johnny Murtha looking for his first classic success in a race John Ox has yet to win. Mantari's locked away, ready to run, and they're away in the First National Business Society Irish 2000 Guineas, and our team are broke smartly in the centre. Quintiliani tracking Mantari towards the outside. Mantari crossing over now as they reach the end of the first furlong, and it's Mantari who leads them with Nice on the inside. Artima just behind them on the outer. Then the orange colours of Grand Lodge just behind the leaders. Guided Tour tracks him. They're followed towards the outside by Indhar. Ridgewood Bend towards the back, and the favourite Turtle Island is last of all in the early stages. As they race towards the elbow now, they've covered almost 2 furlongs, and it's Mantari out in front, tracked by Grand Lodge. Then Artima. Behind these on the inside is Nice. Then Indhar. Right of the picture, Quintiliani with Ridgewood Bend. Guided Tour behind them, and Turtle Island still in rear as they come up now towards the halfway stage in the Irish 2000 Guineas, and Mantari in the lead. Grand Lodge moving up on the outside. Between horses is Nice. In 4 is Indhar, and a gap then of 3 lengths to Artima ahead of Ridgewood Bend and Guided Tour. And still at the back, Turtle Island as they race towards the final 3 furlongs. And Grand Lodge has moved up to show fractionally ahead now of Mantari, being wound up by Johnny Murtha. Nice just behind them. Ridgewood Bend makes ground. Indhar looking for room. And they're followed by Artima under pressure. Turtle Island beginning to get closer now, but it's Grand Lodge the leader as they race inside the last 2 furlongs from Ridgewood Bend. Here comes Turtle Island on the right of the picture. Mantari's beaten, then Guided Tour. Artima can't quicken, but racing towards the final furlong. It's Turtle Island smoothly on the outside from Ridgewood Bend. Grand Lodge drops away. Guided Tour staying on, but racing to the final furlong. It's Turtle Island sprinting away from them in the ground. Turtle Island putting up a most impressive performance, flying through the final furlong, racing away to win this in most emphatic fashion as they race up to the line. Turtle Island absolutely annihilates the opposition. This could be up to 15 lengths. Turtle Island on his own wins the Irish Guineas. A strap for second place. Guided Tour and Ridgewood Bend involved. Grand Lodge is 4th, Quintiliani 5, 6 is Indhar, 7 Nice, 8 is Artima, and a disappointing Mantari trails in last. You seldom see a Classic 1 in that style. Last in the early stages, Turtle Island has absolutely trounced his 8 rivals and justified favouritism. The 5-4 favourite under John Reid, a 12th Irish Classic success for Robert Sangster, a 2nd for Peter Chappell-Hyam, and what can one say, Ted?
Well, Tony, on soft ground, I've never seen a better performance. This horse, as Michael Cannan said early on, it all depends on what handles this ground. This fella handled it. John, a little bit anxious there. Mosey's out behind Artima to get into a bit of position. The boys in front have a march of about 5 or 6 lengths, but it must be very testing ground because the 3 in front absolutely trot once they come off the bridles. Turtle Island, our next shot, shows him tracking Ridgewood Bend as he comes there, absolutely cantering over him. Indhar is back there in 5th. There's Ridgewood Bend with the breast skirt and the white sleeves. Turtle Island directly behind him. Mick Cannan on the right with Artima. Grand Lodge is still in front at this stage. Mantari is distress signals and he's on a backward slide at the moment. Now Turtle Island is absolutely cruising in behind Ridgewood Bend, who's gone for everything. Guided Tour has run a cracker. He's back there behind Grand Lodge at this stage, and he gets up, I think, to be 2nd. But Turtle Island is absolutely cantering at this stage, and it's only a matter of John Reid letting out an inch array, and he doesn't even have to press the acceleration button, but he does. He just changes his hands and says go, and this horse quickens up in this very, very soft ground. Heavy Mick Cannan described as the last furlong and a half of it, and goes right away to win as far as you'd see a horse win a Cheltenham Gold Cup or an Irish National. He absolutely skates in. You think the others were knelt to the ground behind him as he goes further and further and further away. John keeps him up to his job, just pushes him out hands and heels. He's going to put plenty of distance, and on this kind of ground, this is a serious racehorse. I haven't seen a more impressive horse over a mile, and as we said beforehand, his young trainer Peter Chappell-Hyam has proved time and time again what a brilliant trainer he is, what a great man he is at bringing horses after tough races back to do themselves justice again, and this horse has absolutely slaughtered him. Robert Sangster on the far side.
In action, 14's Lake Country, 16's Morcott, and 20-1 Mistasha and Salvezza. Salvezza being put into stall number 10. Rapsida, having her 4th start of the campaign, runner-up to Guided Tour at Naas last time out in April. There goes Mistasha. 5-4 the favourite now, 5-2 bar. Meta safely put away. Tony, I think there might be 1 or 2 left to come.
Here comes number 3, Lake Country, and Willie Supple. Lake Country started off with Vincent O'Brien, won from last season, now based in Italy. Number 4, Las Meninas, bidding to create a piece of racing history by bringing off the Guineas double. Gone in nice and quietly. Plenty of money for her, despite the doubts about the ground. Common Rumpus gone in on the far side, and they're off and running in the early Coolmore Irish 1000 Guineas. And Salvezza well away towards the left with Relatively Special also close up. And not in too much of a hurry early on. Dancing Action is also right up there. Metcalf along the inside rail. Quite a slow early pace with Salvezza, Metcalf in the blue colours on the inside. Dancing Action towards the outer. Just tracking these is Las Meninas. On the inside is Miss Sasha. Between horses Relatively Special, and then Morcott. And behind Morcott on the outside, Reseda. Common Rumpus and Lake Country, the last two, as they reach the elbow now. And they've covered over a furlong and a half. And it's Salvezza from Dancing Action in the noseband in second. Metcalf tucked away on the inside in third. Sheer white face. Relatively Special, the black and white colours, in about fourth place. Las Meninas, the Newmarket Guineas winner, on the outside. They're followed by Miss Sasha. Then comes Morcott and Common Rumpus and Reseda, and finally Lake Country. Coming now past the halfway stage, and it's Salvezza from Dancing Action, Metcalf and Relatively Special, Las Meninas on the outside of Miss Sasha as they cross the junction now with the round course. And that's still Salvezza and Dancing Action disputing the lead. Metcalf just in behind them with Relatively Special. Las Meninas getting closer on the outside. Miss Sasha trying to make ground along the inner. Common Rumpus looking for room. And Metcalf switches there. Appears to slightly hamper Relatively Special, but as they race down now past the two, Dancing Action from Metcalf. Here comes Las Meninas on the outside. Salvezza just in behind them, and then Miss Sasha and Morcott. They're racing towards the final furlong, and it's Metcalf, the leader, from Las Meninas. Metcalf, Las Meninas, Miss Sasha. Morcott on the outside, then Relatively Special inside the final furlong. Metcalf on the far side from Las Meninas as they race up the line. Metcalf and Willie Carson punch out and drawing away as they race up the line. Metcalf takes the Irish Guineas. Second place is Las Meninas, and third is Relatively Special, then Morcott. And close behind them between Miss Sasha and Reseda. They're clear of Lake Country, Dancing Action, Salvezza and Common Rumpus together at the rear. So Metcalf, number 5, owned by Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, trained by John Dunlop and ridden by Willie Carson, has landed the early Coolmore Irish 1000 Guineas, turning the tables on the Newmarket Guineas winner Las Meninas. In third place was number 9, Relatively Special, and
early on and now slow. My horse stays very well, and you know, I won't be too far away from the pace, but if I feel that the pace is strong, I won't make the running.
You won't, but you will sit handy and then try and come and make ground smooth around Tavern Corner.
Yes, I mean, you know, I'm basically going to get my horse into a nice rhythm, the way I've been riding him in the trials, and be it in front or be it second or third, fourth, or whatever.
What about Tattenham Corner with 24 rivals all around you? How worrying is that going to be?
Well, you know, every derby, whether it's, you know, 20 or 10, traffic problems are always a worry, and, you know, you hope for a bit of luck, but it's an awful lot of runners.
And now that the day has actually arrived, I know you've been quietly confident for the past sort of 6 weeks. How confident are you now with the race just seconds away?
Well, I'm very confident in my horse. I mean, I wouldn't like to ride anything else in the race, and I'm just hoping I want to just go out and show him off.
Well, I really do wish Michael and John luck. As I said earlier, they're two of the nicest guys in the game. And John, OK, he's got a famous father in Barry. He's doing all right in his own right as a trainer himself, but this would really launch him into the big time. As a jockey who's always in the big time, Michael Kinnan rides King's Theatre. But Michael also had the choice of number 8, Foyer, who's trained by Michael Stout. Well, has the jockey made the right choice? Derek attempted to find out earlier in the day.
I'm still quite hopeful I'm on the right one. My horse worked well when I rode him in Newmarket that morning. Fire is known to be a little bit lazy at home, so but on the walk that morning, I'm quite happy that I'm on the right one.
Now, you won the Melbourne Cup last year, which is one of the roughest races to ride in, but 25 runners round Epsom. It's going to be pretty hard out there today.
Yeah, I suppose it'll be pretty like the Melbourne Cup. There's going to be a lot of adjusting going on, you know, because it's a lot of runners. Everybody's going to need a little bit of luck to win it today.
How do you see your tactics?
I'm going to look for a nice position somewhere. I don't want to burn him up too much with the reservations of a mile and a half. But mid-division or a little better if I'm travelling nicely, you know, and hopefully come from there if I'm going good.
And compared to last year, which you won on Commander-in-Chief, could it be a repeat performance?
Well, it's possible because I'm in the race, but you know, it's going to be tall order for my horse. I think he has to improve a bit, and he has to get a trip, so, but he should be there somehow.
Well, King's Theatre, the Craven Stakes winner at Newmarket, and the only horse to win the Craven and the Derby was Jeddah in 1898, and since then 39 Craven Stakes winners have run in the Derby, all have got beaten, and King's Theatre's out to 14-1. Now 23 of the last 31 Derbies have gone to the first or second favourites. They've been virtual two-horse races, and here a hard, solid 7-2. They tried to bring it in, other bookmakers knock it out to 7-2, but particularly weak is Broadway Flyer, who is out to 7-1, though he's come back now at last to 13-2. I think bookmakers feel they're going to get a result in the ever-ready Derby. Colonel Collins is a 10-1 chance. Linney Head being well back, 9. Some bookmakers going 8 Linney Head, 10-1 Way Anchor, 12 Sun Shack, 16, and in places 20-1 Waiting, Double Carpet Camasine, 33-1, and all the rags have been backed. But I have to tell you one thing, that there was a bookmaker on the boards, and a punter, a lazy punter, went up with £50 to him and wanted £2 on every one of the runners. So the poor old bookie had to write out £2, this, £2 there, £2, a lot of them, 50 quid he's earned. She's hoping that a rag is going to win the Derby.
Well, in 1780, they ran this race over a mile and they didn't have cameras on the stalls. Such is life today. The lot of a top jockey or a jockey on a fancied horse in the Derby, he has to put up with us talking about him.
And if he backed there, I think that was a shot that you were pleased to see, because he looked as though he's calmed down considerably. Camasine and Lester Piggott, seen it all before. Talking to John Reid on Colonel Collins.
Well, a handful more to load in Derby 215, Ionio, Sunshack, Waiting, and further away in the background, I think that's number 5, is it, or number 15?
I think it's Linney Head.
Yeah, Linney Head. Sunshack, the French horse. I'll say Pat Eddery's brother-in-law, Terry Ellis, was giving me a bit of stick at Sandown last night. He said he was a bit hard on this horse in the preview we did on Saturday. We shall see. Well, it was when they discovered that Epsom was a marvellous place for water and therefore Epsom salts. There's some screams going on there as the scene's about to unfold. Not quite sure who's having problems. That in turn brought trade to the area. Trade bought racehorses. Racehorses brought the Derby. Ionio and Michael Roberts just having an anxious moment or two. The Derby's become a tradition, part almost of our English heritage for running 215. It's over to Graham.
Thank you, Jim. One or two anxious moments as Ionio and Michael Roberts got a little bit fractious in the stalls. I must say the vast majority of horses very well behaved. This is a Guineas winner, Madagans Guineas winner, Mr. Bayliss. He's going to be one of the last to load. He and Chikawika are scheduled to go in late. Erhard, the 7-2 favourite, Broadway Flyer at 6-1, Linney Head at 8-1 now. So the 1994 Ever-Ready Derby lined up and they race away. Get a position early, jockeys, will be the first call. Colonel Colt is a little bit slowly away, and it's a stiff uphill climb. And Mr. Bayliss is one of the first to show. Plato's Republic, one of the rank outsiders, is way out the back. Mr. Bayliss just leading with Golden Ball and Chikawika showing prominently, and on the inside is Party Season. They're coming up this stiff hill. It's on the collar all the way through the first half mile. Mr. Bayliss leading again. Mr. Bayliss, Golden Ball with also pace is the Flying Phantom. Party Season's bang there. Linney Head is holding a very good position. Air Hubs are down the pack. Chikawika is in the firing line. Camasine and Lester Piggott hold a good pitch, and they've gone through the first 3 furlongs. Plato's Republic is outpaced and tailed off. They go through the first half mile, and it's Mr. Bayliss in the lead from Chikawika and the Flying Phantom. They're the leading three. Then comes Camasine, Way Anchor in a good position. On the outside, Broadway Flyer, perfectly placed. Party Season just off the pace. Waiting is travelling well. Foyer is in a good position. Air Harbour is some way down the pack, and already getting reminders is Colonel Colt. They're at the top of the hill, and this Mr. Bailey striding on the outside of Chikawika as they pass the 7 furlong marker. Camasine, Lester Pickett in a perfect position the inside. Way Anchor's well placed. Wishing's there with chances, and we had a faller there, and they've gone through the first half mile, and it's Mr. Bailey's in the lead. Mr. Bailey's from Way Anchor, then Chikawika, then Camasine, followed by Waiting and Wishing and Linny Head, and behind that one comes Jabberroot, and on the inside King's Theatre, and they begin the descent at Tattenham Corner, and it's Mr. Bailey's doing the work. Mr. Bailey's Pencada on the outside. Air Hard with a lot of running to do. Sunshak is out the back, and they're coming round Tattenham Corner, and Mr. Bailey's is clear of his field, clear by 4 or 5 lengths now as they head for home. Colonel Colt's coming with a run, and then Camasine's there with chances. Linny Head with a run, King's Theatre with a run. They're past the 3, and Mr. Bailey's is clear by 6 lengths to the north. The white cap is King's Theatre, spotted cap the outside is Colonel Collins, and they come down to the 2 furlong marker, and Mr. Bailey's in the lead, clear by 3. Colonel Collins, the spotted cap, white cap is King's Theatre, is between these 3 now. Mr. Bailey's has come back to the field. Harv is picking up well, but it's King's Theatre that goes to the line. King's Theatre from Colonel Collins. Here comes the favourite Harv with a devastating burst on the outside as they race up towards the line. Harv and Willie Carson lift the derby. Harv, King's Theatre, Colonel Collins, Mr. Bailey's, Camasine, Pencada, then came Golden Ball and Jabberroot, start prediction Ionio, then Chocolate de Moreau go, followed by Way Anchor and Wishing, and the field trailed back to Broadway Fly, who was one of the last. Darkwood Bay, who was at the back. Colonel Colt and Plato's Republic were the back markers, and so the 7-2 favourite has won this, the 1994 Ever Ready Derby. An amazing late thrust and burst by horse number 7, Air Harb, owned by Hamdan Al Maktoum, ridden by Willie Carson, for whom this is the 4th Derby win, and a remarkable burst of acceleration. Second horse home is number 14, King's Theatre. Third is number 4, Colonel Collins, and the 4th horse home is number 16, Mr. Bailey's. And the faller in the race was number 8, Foyer. The horse is all right. The winner then of this, the Ever Ready Derby, it's a winner for number 7, Air Harb. Hamdan Al Maktoum has done it again. This one trained by John Dunlop, as I say, ridden by Willie Carson, his 26th Derby ride, his 4th Derby win. The stripe cap there on the left, coming with that late burst. Colonel Collins, the spotted cap, has run his race. King's Theatre has run his race, and on the inside, Mr. Bailey's has run his heart out for the north. But in the end, it's the horse that beat him in the homeowners, Dante Erhard, who has come from way down off the pace to come and seize, and like the mighty Shergar's got his tongue hanging out inside the final furlong, we can confidently say he's got them all licked. This is Erhard, and a great win for Chief's Crown, his sire. And this one, of course, homebred. Well, we're down the far side, Royal Ballerina, and Environment Friend the Grey holds a good position. Intrepidity, Urban Sea, Ernie Royale, White Muzzle not that far off the pace either. But they're going up the first quarter mile with Monson towing them along by about a half a length to Talented and Royal Ballerina. Then comes Environment Friend, Urban Sea and Intrepidity, followed through by White Muzzle, with up on the outside of these Apple Tree, the white cap at the top of the picture, Ernie Royale in the black and orange check. Perfect Imposter has just got one behind him, and that one is Blush Rambler. Still Monson from the front as they come down to the 9 furlong marker. Monson leading from Royal Ballerina, who's wide of Talented, second and third, and then the Grey Environment Friend, Urban Sea the inside, then follows White Muzzle, followed by Intrepidity and Ernie Royale. Then we find Apple Tree down the pack as they pass the mile pole, with Blush Rambler and Perfect Imposter behind. So They come to the top of the hill at the end of the first half mile, and it's Monson under Pateterie leading, and using a very impressive stride from Royal Ballerina, who's on the outside of the blue colours talented. The grey horse, that's Environment Friend. Wide of these now, White Muzzle in the stripes, followed through by the yellow jacket Urban Sea running the rail. White sleeve jacket Intrepidity. On the outside of these, Apple Tree just shaded, and still sitting last is Perfect Imposter. And they start the descent to Tottenham Corner. They've passed the halfway stage in the ever-ready Coronation Cup, and for Germany, it's Monson that leads the battle. Monson, they pass the 5-pole from Royal Ballerina pointing a toe. White Muzzle creeping close to the outside. Then comes talented Environment Friend. Urban Sea just changed the legs. They come past the 4-furlong marker and begin the descent to Tottenham Corner. And still it's Monson who has the edge from Royal Ballerina, with the blue jacket talented the inside. White Muzzle, Environment Friend, Urban Sea. Apple Tree starts to get closer now. Intrepidity has got a lot of racing to do, and she's last as they come down past the 3. And Monson striding up the home straight from Royal Ballerina. Red sleeve jacket, here comes White Muzzle. Off the pace, the arc winner Urban Sea gets going, and then behind these, Perfect Imposter on the extreme left in blue, Blush Rambler. White colours, Apple Tree. It's a crackerjack of a race. 5 with chances, and the grey Environment Friend pressed by Apple Tree. Apple Tree and Environment Friend from White Muzzle, and Monson, they race inside the final furlong. But it's Apple Tree and Environment Friend as they take the line. Apple Tree takes it, Environment Friend, Blush Rambler third. Then came White Muzzle and Urban Sea and Monson and Eddie Royale, a Perfect Imposter, and after that one talented Royal Ballerina. And the last horse to pass the post was Intrepidity, and so the result then of this, the ever-ready Coronation Cup, a 12-to-1 chance. Apple Tree has prevailed, running this year in the colours of Mr. S.A. Kabir, trained by André Fabre, ridden by Thierry Janet, who's got revenge. Second horse home is the tremendous run by number 3, Environment Friend, ridden by Michael Roberts. Third horse home, number 2, Blush Rambler, under Walter Swinburne. And the fourth horse home is number 11, Urban Sea. So a great victory for France, a great victory for André Fabre. Apple Tree has gained the day and has won his 6th race from his 20th start in the white colours, worn by Thierry Janet. This horse was so unlucky. Well, the last time he came here was beaten by Sylvan Wisp, but so unlucky in the race a couple of years ago, but he's got his revenge today. Patiently ridden, well ridden, Apple Tree has gained the Group 1 ever-ready Coronation Cup.
Graham said, John, there, that he was talking about Apple Tree's revenge. I wonder if Thierry might be thinking it's Thierry's revenge, because he really did get boxed in, and I think he felt not the best of treatment maybe from one or two of the fellow British jockeys the last time he was over here, or in this race I should say, and that was a couple of seasons ago on Subotica. But this afternoon he's come wide and up the centre. And when you say earlier, I didn't like the horse, I've nothing against him at all. He's just a little bit of a character. He wants knowing, basically.
Well, he's certainly that, because, I mean, virtually put his head round and talked to this jockey with half a furlong to run. And when we watch the replay in just a few moments, you'll be able to see. But what a smashing race the second horse has run as well, Environment Friend. Best race he's run since...
An uphill climb rather than descent in the straight. Chantilly was under threat of closure in the winter. This race should show that it was worth saving.
Cicero and Walter Swinburne going in, and there's Bohemian Sunshine, Pat Edery in the colours of Fard Salmon, who's just bought this horse, trained by André Fabre. As he goes in, we see the line Alain Badel on number 1. There's Al Rifa, my idea of Britain's principal hope, with John Reed, Cannon going in now, and in the foreground is Celtic Arms, but that's Al Rifa and John Reed. There's the filly, Moonlight Dance, Celtic Arms in the background. So these will be the last two to go in. Celtic Arms, just look how short Gerald Mosse rides. John Reed, slightly more normal length on Al Rifa, but this is Celtic Arms and Gerald Mosse. The Prix Lupin winner, always a tremendous trial.
They're under starters orders, and they race away. A little bit slow to go was Shanghai Venture. He just was astride in the stalls, and the pace in the race should come from Boxcard,
set to put the pace to Solid Illusion. And with the noseband, it's Boxcard going on. Boxcard has the lead from on the inside in the yellow colours, Strategic Choice racing prominently. On the outside, Cicereo, Bohemian Sunshine in a good place. Hawker's News is taking quite a keen hold early on. And one of the back markers is Bataillon, and also Fanion Defect, and also towards the rear at this very early stage is Celtic Arms. But they're through the first quarter mile, and it's Boxcard leading with the noseband. Yellow colours the rail is Strategic Choice, Cicereo behind these. Bohemian Sunshine, our Riffer is out wide. Through on the inside is River Wacky, and with that one is Hawker's News. Moonlight Dance holds a good position. Down the pack is Bataillon, and also towards the rear is Solid Illusion. Fanion Defect, Ticanon is towards the rear. Percuton is towards the rear too, and still last is Celtic Arms. But up front, it's Boxcard who leads by length. To Strategic Choice running the rail, Cicereo in third. The dark blue colours of Moonlight Dance showing in fourth place. Just in behind these comes El Riffer on the outside with Bohemian Sunshine. But up front, little change as they head down towards the halfway stage. It's Boxcard leading by length. To Strategic Choice in second, Cicereo going third. Bohemian Sunshine in the green colours fourth. Blue Jacket, Moonlight Dance 5, and then behind that one is River Wacky, and the back marker is Fanion Defect, and they begin the turn out of the back straight. It's Boxcard who still just has the edge. To Strategic Choice in second, Cicereo, the red colours in third place. Bohemian Sunshine wide of Bataillon. Running the rail is River Wacky. Wide of these as they start the turn in is Al Riffer on the outside of Moonlight Dance. At the top of the home run now, Boxcard joined on the inside by Strategic Choice, and as they head for home, Strategic Choice, the inside of Boxcard. Here in the red colours comes Cicereo. Bohemian Sunshine with a run. Moonlight Dance wide still in the black sleeves is Al Riffer. On the extreme outside is Hawker's News, and they're inside the final quarter mile now, and it's Cicereo Underwater Swinburne going for home. Strategic Choice runs the rail. Here comes Percuton with a run. On the outside, Al Riffer, widest of all with a run, Celtic Arms. They're inside the final furlong now, and it's Celtic Arms in the green colours down the centre of the track who takes the call now from Solid Illusion, who's finishing very fast, six to the rails, up towards the line. Celtic Arms, Solid Illusion at the line. Celtic Arms just takes it from Solid Illusion in second. Through to third was Al Riffer, and a mighty run from him. And then behind these came Ticanon, and behind Ticanon, Strategic Choice, and after Strategic Choice was Cicereo. And so the result then of this, the French Derby, it's a win for number 5, Celtic Arms, in the colours of Mr. J.L. Bouchard, trained by Pascal Barry, ridden by Gerald Mosse, and he came with a late sweep from last to first. Through on the inside, Solid Illusion, the horse with the bandaged forelegs, may have been a bit unlucky in running. I saw him just had to snatch up a little bit. The yellow colours, what a race Strategic Choice has run. But here on the right of the picture comes Celtic Arms, Gerald Mosse in the green jacket, who's come from last to first to take the French Derby in the dying strides. And as they hit the line, boy, isn't he pleased.
Well, Willie Carson and Ahab came from an awful long way back at Epsom, but just look where Gerald Mosse and Celtic Arms have come from. They've been last, in fact, for most of the race, and it's only now, about 2.5 furlongs from home, after turning into the straight, that Gerald Mosse begins to pull Celtic Arms out. That's Hawker's News outside him in Sheikh Mohammed's colours, and Al Riffer in front. It's Al Riffer now who Celtic Arms comes to challenge and pass. Up in the lead, Cicereo and Strategic Choice are disputing it, but neither of them has any answer to Celtic Arms' charge. It won him the Prix Lupin, and it wins him the spoils again today. Over on the far rails, Solid Illusion, whose pacemaker has made this such a genuine gallop, comes through to take advantage and second place, and Al Riffer runs on really well to take third. He looks a stayer for the future, but Celtic Arms is the winner. So back they come, Gerald Mosse and Celtic Arms, to a
2-to-1 favourite for Laxey, Balanchine 11-2, Windsor Hare 15-2, Spot Prize Ray Cochrane just getting back into the saddle, Fragrant Dawn and Windsor Hare just going in, Bulaxi the favourite, last to go in. What looks a really classy classic. That's John Graham.
Bulaxi is scheduled to go into the stalls last, and she certainly caught the eye in the paddock going down to the start. A great big powerful stride. and very much in the betting ring as well. So, all the eye catchers point towards Valaxi. We'll soon know. That's it. They're under starters' orders. They race away for the Energizer Oaks. A little bit slow to go is a Majestic Roll, and Dance to the Top a little bit slow to go. Fragrant Bell takes it up. Fragrant Bell takes a lead of a couple of lengths out of Hardwicke, the hard puller. The red cap on the left, horse with the big white face is Balanchine. Then Spot Prize further right, Wind in her Hair. At this stage, Brentwood is towards the rear. Last of all is Majestic Roll, and Bonash nearer last and first. The yellow cap is Bulaxi, and she's taking a very keen hold indeed, settled in sharing a fourth spot. So it's Fragrant Bell leading by a length and a half to Howard Geese in second. The red cap Balanchine showing third. Yellow cap running away, Bulaxi shares four with the inside Spot Prize, then Wind in her Hair. Bonash, and then comes Dance to the Top, followed by Brentwood, and the back marker is Majestic Roll. They'll soon have gone through the first half mile, uphill all the way. And it's Fragrant Bell by a length and a half to Howard Gist and Balanchine out wide. Then Bulaxi wide of Spot Prize, Wind in her Hair wide of Bonash, who's just in front of Dance to the Top, and they're at the top of the hill now, and they've got 7 furlongs left to go in the Energizer Oaks. And it's Fragrant Bell still leading, with Balanchine striding through on the outside. A half a length behind these comes Howard G. Spot Prize the rail. Bulaxi is still sharing 4. Wind in her Hair 5. Bonash just being niggled along in the running the rail 6 spot. Dance to the Top is 7, and Majestic Roll now has Brentwood behind. They're past the halfway stage, come down towards the 5 furlong marker, and Balanchine striding into the lead as they begin the descent to Cheltenham Corner and past the 5. From yellow colours, Fragrant Bell. Howard G's the outside. Yellow cap Bulaxi, then Spot Prize. Brentwood is now the trailer, and they start the turn in. Bonash being ridden along already. And as they start the turn round Cheltenham, they've got under half a mile to go, and they're all coming very wide indeed in the field, headed by Howard G's now. Howard G's and Balanchine share it by a length and a half to Spot Prize and Bonash and the white sleeve jacket. And Bulaxi's got a lot of running to do to win this race. Wind in her Hair picks up from the back, and they come down towards the point, a quarter of a mile from home. And the red cap Balanchine, blue cap the rail Howard G's. Here comes Wind in her Hair and Bonash the pink cap. Spot Prize behind these. Bulaxi will not be winning. They've got just over a furlong to go, and it's Howard G's and Balanchine, and Balanchine now takes it up as they come past the furlong pole. Balanchine it is by length to Howard G's. Wind in her Hair is finishing with every stride, but it's Balanchine for the Emirates in the lead. Is going to stand the Energizer Oaks, and Balanchine is the winner. Wind in her Hair second, Howard G's third, Spot Prize, then came Majestic Roll and Bonash. A big gap to a very disappointing Bulaxi, who beat Dance to the Top Brentwood, and last of all was Fragrant Bell. What a triumph this is for the Emirates team, because this horse in the colours of Maktoum Al Maktoum Godolphin has won the Energizer Oaks, trained officially in the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, by Hilal Ibrahim, ridden by Frankie Dettori, whose first English classic it is, and by gum, the smile is very much from ear to ear. Second horse home is number 10, Wind in her Hair. What a brave race she's run, staying on very gamely all the way up the home straight. Joy, joy, unrefined for Frankie Dettori, and what a sporting gesture there by Richard Hills, who was beaten by Balanchine. Third horse home is Howard G's, and it's a bunch finish for 4, but Ray Cochrane's delighted, everybody's delighted about this victory of Balanchine, and more so than the very positive attempts and very unique attempts of having horses trained in the Emirates to bring them over from here. Classic form then we had in a classic race, because Balanchine, so narrowly beaten at Newmarket in the Madagans 1000, has won this, the Energizer Oaks, and despite those doubts on the pedigree pundits who suggested that her performance said that she wouldn't stay, she has certainly seen out every inch of this trip in very testing ground indeed, and Balanchine has come home. Frankie Dettori, his 91st winner of the season, but following up his French Derby win on Follentine, this is, well, his first English classic, and isn't he enjoying it? Thank you very much.
Well, I shudder to think what Frankie will be like the day he wins the Pools, John.
No, rightly, he's been so close, you know, he was close up in the 2000 Guineas, and he's had plenty of times when he's been knocking on the door, and it obviously gets to the stage when you think, well, God, when am I going to win the Classic, or an English Classic anyway?
I think he'd be quite happy to carry the filly back up.
Yeah, really gutsy performance from this filly, and
10 to 1 bar, the market dominated by those two Sheikh Mohammed runners.
I'm going in very quickly now, but you see the stalls are situated in the middle of the track, and I think, though, we might see them after about 2 furlongs tacking across towards the stands rail. When the ground's riding past here, usually they like to be nearer the stands rail, but with the stalls there, I think it'll take a little bit of time. I think there's only one more to go, standing down at the back, and in fact that is Miss Flight with Wendell Wood, who will be going into stall 8 and walking up nice and quietly. See a rather good walker, this horse. He's got a nice loose action about him. He's going to be the last, I think, now, the time to join Peter.
Yes, Miss Flight, last to be installed. He will be for the Queen Anne Stakes, this race named after the monarch who founded this course in Ascot Common in 1711. His first run under its present title in 1930. That's it. It's Flighty and Barassi are nearest to us. Understarter's orders for the Queen Anne, and they're running, and Fitzcarraldo breaks past. So does Emperor Jones over on the far side, but Fitzcarraldo taking him along. Emperor Jones on the far side, and the near side is Barassi. Then come Miss Fight and Gabber over on the far side, and Garden of Heaven just in behind them. Then Massiar, and one of the back markers at the moment is Soviet Line, and Fitzcarraldo under Jason Weaver taking him along at a good gallop over on the far side. The white cap, the second colours of Sheikh Mohammed, is Emperor Jones. On the near side, the first colours, Barassi. Garden of Heaven just in behind him. Gabber over on the far side. Miss Flight not far off the pace as they come down now past the 4-pole, and still Fitzcarraldo from Emperor Jones. Gabber on the far side. On the near side, Barassi, who's taken a very strong hold, very fresh in his first outing of the season. Still Fitzcarraldo from Emperor Jones on the far side. Barassi and Miss Flight and Gabber making steady progress. On the rear is Soviet Line. They've passed the 3-pole and racing down now towards the 2-furlong marker in the Queen Anne Stakes. And Barassi coming to challenge on the near side. Over on the far side, Emperor Jones. Fitzcarraldo beginning to fade. Gabber's coming there on the far side. Emperor Jones and Barassi, the Maktoum duo, being challenged by another Maktoum runner, and over on the far side in Gabber. 20 Quattrofoli trying to get on terms with them, but it's very close now as they race up towards the line. Gabber in the centre, Barassi on the near side, Emperor Jones between horses, and 20 Quattrofoli finishing fast as they come to the line. It's going to be a photo. Barassi is going to win it at the line. Barassi has won it from Gabber and Emperor Jones with 20 Quattrofoli fourth. It's a photo at the end of the Queen Anne Stakes, but I think little doubt that number 1, Barassi, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Luca Cumani and ridden by Michael Cannan, has won the opener at the 1994 Royal Meeting, with very, very close for second between Gabber and Emperor Jones. It certainly means, whatever the judge calls, that the Maktoum family have finished 1, 2, 3 in the opener with 20 Quattrofoli, the John Dunlop trained 20 Quattrofoli fourth.
What a terrific race this was. Fitzcarraldo did his job, went off and made a really good pace. On the outside, it was Frankie Dettori who was the first to go on and throw down the gauntlet on Emperor Jones. Took the lead well inside the 2-furlong marker. But on the right, as we look at them, Barassi produced with perfect timing by Michael Cannan. And from now on, it looked between those two until Willie Carson produced Gabber on the outside. And now it becomes a terrific 3-horse battle. Back in 4th place, 20 Quattrofoli switches round the front 3 and comes with a good challenge. A steward's inquiry is announced, and the first 3 have come desperately close in the last 100 yards. There's Frankie in the centre of the 3. On this side, Barassi. Willie Carson on the outside, Gabber. At this point, there's half a horse in between the 3. They're drifting towards the stand side. All 3 jockeys have got their whips in their right hands. And right here, the 2 horses, the 2 Sheikh Mohammed horses, it could be either one of them. Willie Carson's only 3rd best at this point.
but what a battle it is in the last few yards. And Barasia just forces his head in front with about 25 yards to go, just goes the neck or a head up. Emperor Jones running on, Gabba coming back again at the death. But at the line, it's Michael Cannan and Barasia, his first run of the season. What a training performance. Wins very close to second between Emperor Jones and Gabba.
He's a lovely looking horse too, Needle Gun. He's one of my favourites, but I'd love to see him get his head in front one day.
Coringa Bay nearest to us. Brown Rice with the spotted cap. There's Willie Carson going in on Mutaram. This is Beneficial going in with Pat Edery. Chateau and Michael Cannan. Azud on the far side, and Walter Swinburne. I think he's one of the last. Yes, Peter O'Sullivan.
Yes, Walter was last in, John, and that's it. They're under orders, and they're away. And Talented showing very good speed in the early stages. Talented going on from Coringa Bay on the inside. Cicero as well up there. Beneficial also towards the outside, and quite well packed as they pass the milepost. And Talented, the only filly in the race, in the lead from Coringa Bay on the inside of Cicero. Mutaram there on the outside. Then comes Azud. The back marker at the moment is Revelation. And a good pace on here as Talented passes the 7-furlong pole in the lead from Cicero and Coringa Bay. Azud on the far side, Mutaram on the inner, and then comes Beneficial with Chateaubriand and Needle Gun next, and Shintillo, Le Hook, and finally Revelation, and still Talented making it. From Cicero now goes second. Third on the outside is Azud. 4 on the inner, very close, is Coringa Bay. Then Mutaram just in behind them, and Needle Gun next, and Chateaubriand and Beneficial. Racing towards the half-mile pole, and still Talented with the advantage from Cicero. Coringa Bay on the inside. Then comes Azud. Just behind Azud is Mutaram, and then Needle Gun, and then Beneficial making a little ground with Chateaubriand. Racing now towards the home turn. Talented still with the advantage from Coringa Bay. Then Cicero. Then on the inside Mutaram. Azud towards the outer into the home straight. And still Talented with the advantage from Coringa Bay. Then Mutaram. Making a run is Azud towards the outside, coming to the 2-furlong pole. Talented being pressed by Coringa Bay. Beneficial coming there. So is Chateaubriand. Mutaram looking for space over on the far side and getting it between horses. Racing into the closing stages. Mutaram bursts through. Chateaubriand on the inside. But it's Mutaram who's taking it up as they race into the closing stages from Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand, Mutaram and Chateaubriand as they come to the line. It's Mutaram, just the winner from Azud and Chateaubriand. It's a photo once again. Mutaram, I think, has just won it from Azud and Chateaubriand. Those are the principals, those three in this Prince of Wales Stakes, and of course this will be a tricky one once again for the stewards to determine whether Mutaram caused any interference when he burst through between horses. A furlong and a half out in this Prince of Wales Stakes, which has resulted in a photo between number 2 Mutaram, number 1 Azud, and number 5 Chateaubriand.
Well, this was a fascinating ride for Willie Carson. He had a good position early on, 5th or 6th. He got a wonderful run through, turning into the straight, slipped through on the inner, turning in, he's in 3rd place. Things look to be going smoothly. Talented's in the lead. On the outside, Coringa Bay, he hoped would drop away. But the 2 horses stayed there. There looked to be a big enough gap for him to go through. He looks over his shoulder shortly because Mick Cannan's another man who's looking for room on Chateaubriand. He gets his split here because Beneficial drifts to the left, and now you can see that Chateaubriand burst through. But now, is that gap big enough for Willie to go through between Coringa Bay and Talented on the rails? He sort of does it in too hard. He gets there, he gets halfway through, and they're very, very tight. A steward's inquiry is called. He's still on a tight rein here, but now he sees that the way is clear as Talented drifts away, drops away, and he hits the front. But Mick Cannan's got clear now, and it's a great deal. But look to the right, and Azud, coming from off the pace, comes with a terrific run on the outside, and looks a real threat. But having got clear, Willie Carson's always just in command of Chatoyant, with Michael Kinane riding with his whip in his left hand. The two race for the line. Azud's pulling them both back, but Mutaram's got the resources. He was always going well enough to win. It was just a question of whether that gap would come. And in my opinion, he was entitled to go for that gap. He didn't ride recklessly through it. He waited till it widened, and he's gone on to win. Chatoyant just seems to hold on for second. Azud third. Another fabulous race at Royal Ascot.
To 1 Green Tune and Grand Lodge, and some money for the German challenger Royal Abjar, 13-2 from 15-2, 8-1 bar.
Well, in a few moments' time, I'll be going into the stalls for this, perhaps the one of the best mile races for 3-year-olds that we've seen run in Europe for many a long time. Some really great milers have won the St James's Palace over the years, and the chief singer, Bairn, Shoreblade, half a year, and well, I think we're in for a great race, so let's go to Peter.
The biggest field since 1982, that's it, under orders, and they're away. And First Trump just dwells a little bit at the start, and going on in the early stages is Royal Abjar. Royal Abjar with on the inside Darnay. Darnay going on to take it up now from Royal Abjar. Just in behind them is Charnham, and then Turtle Island, who's close up in fourth. Behind them come Green Tune with distant view towards his outside. And it's from Royal Abjar with a white face. Then over on the far side, distant view with Turtle Island right up there as well. Charner on the inside. Being chased along is Green Tune just in behind the leaders, which are still Darnay and Royal Abjar. Inside the 5 furlong marker now. Darnay still the leader from Royal Abjar for Germany. On the outside is the favourite Turtle Island. Charnay is tucked just in behind, and then comes First Trump, has made up that lost ground. In the centre is Green Tune, and then Distant View. They're swinging towards the home straight now, and as they do so, it's still Darnay from Royal Abjar. Turning for home now. Darnay with the advantage from Royal Abjar in second. Turtle Island towards the outside. Charney comes next, and then Green Tune, Distant View towards the outside. And Royal Abjar and Walter Swinburne have come to take it up now from Turtle Island. It's Royal Abjar, Turtle Island, Distant View on the near side. Then comes Green Tune under pressure from Gerald Morte. And it's Turtle Island and Distant View, with here comes Grand Lodge towards the outside, and just in behind them Green Tune. It's Turtle Island on the far side, but on the near side is Distant View and Grand Lodge. Distant View and Grand Lodge fight it out at the line. It's a photo between Grand Lodge and Distant View. Turtle Island was third and four Green Tune, and then First Trump, and then Royal Abjar, and then Darnay. Behind them comes Charney, and last in fact was Psycho Bubble. It's a photo, and another very close photo at the end of the St James's Palace Stakes, with the finisher on the near side, Grand Lodge, and the finisher on the far side, Distant View. Very close indeed between these two. If there's a whisker in it, it may just be Grand Lodge on the near side, and if it is, it'll be a double for Michael Kinane. But it's very, very close indeed between Grand Lodge on the near side, Distant View on the far side, with Turtle Island the favourite back in third place. Here's the third photo of the afternoon, and once again, it's a very, very tight one.
What a fabulous race. In the end, Darnay made it a good gallop, but here the German horse Royal Abjar had him covered, went into the lead, stormed into the lead. Turtle Island flattered for a moment. Michael Hills pulls out First Trump, but can't quicken. Now look to the outside, and Distant View is coming with a run which for a moment looks certain to be successful. And one of the last to challenge, Michael Kinane on the wide outside, came into the straight with only one behind him. But here, just a furlong out, 4 horses in line. Turtle Island just in front for a moment. Now Distant View is in front. Turtle Island can't produce any more on the ground. But here comes Michael Kinane with this terrific finishing run. The champion of Ireland against the champion of England, and what a battle royal they have in the last furlong. With 50 yards to go, With 50 yards to go, Distant View is definitely still in front by a head or a neck. But look at the strength of Michael Kinane as he and Grand Lodge gradually cut down Distant View. And now as the post comes closer, it's on the nod. He's getting closer all the time. Look at Michael Kinane's strength and rhythm and drive, and the courage of Grand Lodge, who puts his head down, sticks his head out as the post comes. Yes, it's Grand Lodge who's won it, or is first past the post from Distant View second. Turtle Island's run a marvellous race on the first fast ground to be third.
Yes, I think this is a great triumph for Willie Jarvis here. I think the Grand Lodge has got there all right. Mick Cannan has ridden a double here on the first day of the 1994 Royal Ascot, and if the number 5 goes in the frame, as I think you'll probably agree it will, it'll be his third triumph in this prestigious St James's Palace Stakes. He won it in 1982 for Ireland on Dara Monarch, won it in 92 for Ireland again on Brief Truth.
Backing away still. 3 or 4 of them not yet in. The Silver Sox drawn towards the far side at number 13.
Moon King just waiting to go in there, John, with Walter Swinburne. Here we're going into stall 15. Be interesting to see where the jockeys do elect to race. Silka Blanca is 5-2 from 11 to 4 still. Roderigo is 100 to 30. They go 6 to 1 bar those two. So it's people, the public are finding it very hard to find something to back against the top 2 guns.
Reefers Mill's just gone in. That's one trained in Wales. And there aren't many out the back. That's Citadel going in. And 3 Pecan, number 15, going into stall 14. He looks to be waiting his turn quite calmly. And I think he's going to go in all right, so let's join Peter O'Sullivan.
That's it. Easy Dolan nearest to us. Under orders. And that away. Sim Bom Bom breaks very fast towards the right of the picture. Stride Peckin showing very good foot over on the far side. Right up with them is Pipe Major in the early stages too. Sim Bom Bom just about the overall leader. Moon King on the far side. Pipe Major. Just in behind them come Silka Blanca running down towards the halfway mark, and it's Sim Bom Bom on the near side from Silka Blanca. Then comes Pellerman just in behind the lead. Over on the far side, Pipe Major, Sim Bom Bom, Silka Blanca. So Silver Sox is not far behind the lead, and also Moon King on the far side. Pellerman coming there too. Sim Bom Bom with Pipe Major, Sim Bom Bom on the far side, Moon King as they run inside the final furlong now. And here comes Missile on the near side, Missile and Rambrino also, but on the far side, Stride Peckin is beginning to get up. Citadel on the far side too, racing up towards the line, and it's Stride Peckin on the far side and Moon King, Stride Peckin and Moon King, and at the line, Stride Peckin has just run it from Moon King, and it's a photo for third, and a close one too between Pipe Major on the near side with Missile and Citadel over on the far side. Once again, the camera is going to be called upon to determine this one, I would say, with probably Stride Peckin the winner. Stride Peckin, ridden by Richard Quinn, with Moon King right up there with him, and also close is Missile, who's probably third, just ahead of Citadel and Pipe Major. But this looks to be the winner, number 15, Stride Peckin.
Another terrific race on the first day at Ascot. The Northern Challenger, Pipe Major, led for at least 4 furlongs in the centre, starting to come to the end of his tether. Sim Bom Bom, the favourite, just being switched now by John Reid, Rambrino, or the earliest favourite. Coming with his challenge is Silka Blanca, but look to the far side for the main action. Moon King always in a good position, now challenged by the eventual winner, Stride Peckin, and it's these two who go clear from Pipe Major. Silka Blanca no more to give. Rambrino drops away disappointingly, and the last challenger of all on the stand side, Missile in the Sheikh Mohammed colours, who comes with a terrific run. Richard Quinn goes for everything on Stride Peckin, this horse who's got the experience. It's his 4th run. He won at Newmarket on Guineas Day. Only the 2nd run for Moon King, who's run a terrific race. And Missile, this lazy colt who just won at Haydock, he's the best finisher of all under Michael Cannan on the stand side. But Stride Peckin's got it. He's thrust his head in front. A great finish between 3-4 horses here at the line. Stride Peckin wins, close for second between Moon King and Missile. So no doubt about the winner, a first of the week for Richard Quinn, but who is second? and our special camera suggests that it is Moon King who's just held on for second from Missile third. It is officially a photo for all three places, and the fourth horse unquestionably Pipe Major.
Tripecan by Red Ransom out of Lady Godolphin. When the 16 runners went to a post, there were 6 unbeaten colts in the field. This fellow had actually been beaten on his debut, but he'd won his 2 subsequent races. Cost $105,000 as a yearling out of the US mare Lady Godolphin by Saint Ange. Number 26 of the season he'll be for Paul Cole, and a second victory for him in the Coventry, which he won in 1991 with the big colt Dillon. And Richard Quinn will surely be in no doubt that he's won his...
With first-time blinkers going into stall 1. Over on the far side, Randonneur from the north into stall 19. And I think he's the last that's joined Peter O'Sullivan.
Winners of 36 races running in the Jersey Stakes. Number to count showing very good foot in the center of the course. So Zama in the second colors of Sheikh Mohammed. It's number to count. Zama and Nice towards the right of the picture. Nice just about the overall leader now towards the right. Right up there on the far side is Pinkerton's Pal. And Prince Baber up there as well. But Nice is the leader. Nice, as they run down towards the 5-furlong marker, Pinkerton's Pal in the center. Over on the far side, Prince Baber with Randonneur right up with them too. Nice still the leader though on the near side. Quintiliani for Alan Prominence. Those number to count. Coming there, Canasca Dancer on the inside, just poised behind the leaders. Running down now past the 3 marker, and as they do so, it's still Nice the leader from Canasca Dancer. Zama, Quintiliani in the center of the course. Prince Barber just in behind them. And Leicester making progress over on the far side on Ultimo Imperatore. But it's still Nice, the leader on the near side. And the challenger now is Satin Velvet. It's Nice from Satin Velvet. And then on the near side also River Deep. Nice from Satin Velvet and River Deep putting in a run. Dumani over on the far side. But Nice still holding them all as they race into the closing stages and up towards the line. Being challenged by River Deep. Nice being challenged by River Deep. As they come to the line, it's Nice and River Deep. River Deep beginning to get up as they come to the line. It's a photo between Nice and River Deep, and Dumani third, and Classic Sky a distant fourth. Well, once again, a very close photo at the end of the Jersey Stakes with the finisher on the near side, River Deep, number 17, the finisher on the far side, Nice, number 11. A photo finish between Richard Quinn on River Deep and Paul Orrery on Nice, with Richard Quinn already with his name on the Ritz Club charity board with a winner yesterday. As he got up in the closing stages, it's desperately close between these two. No doubt that third was Dumani.
And Nice has led for 6 furlongs and 239 yards, that's for sure. Just one from the right, set a really good gallop. Look towards the far side, the one from the left. The Dumani's come with a small chance there. But look at the blinkered runner. 3-4 from the right, River Deep coming from off the pace. Look in the centre, and you see Green Desert picking up well for Walter Swinburne, having suffered interference before he started his run. Big horse this, he'll improve with his racing. But Nice is in front, but now here comes the challenger, River Deep. The two of them draw clear of Dumani. Will Nice hold on? He's run so courageously today under Paul Orrery, but the blinkers are really helping River Deep, who was such a good 2-year-old, hadn't fulfilled it until this race. As the post gets closer, so the gap between the two of them gets narrower. And now as they come to the line, it's on the nod. Is Richard Quinn going to push River Deep's nose down on the line? So close between the two. Nice battles back on the far side, but at the line, so close between them, with Dumani 2 lengths back in third. So, is it Richard Quinn? His second success of the meeting. Has he got there? It's genuinely on the nod. And this is it, and this is the evidence that suggests that certainly he hasn't been beaten. He's either won or it's a dead heat, River Deep. The price is 20 to 1, River Deep, and 10 to 1, Nice.
More or less to go in. Myself at 100 to 30, myself at 7, Signs at 8, and Prism at 9 to 1, and they go 10 to 1 bar bet.
Not many more to go in. That's Signs with Pat Edry against Peter O'Sullivan.
And they're running. And a very fast break by Myself. Myself second from the right of the picture. Right up there is Tanami also. And Don Leone in the centre. Don Leone just about the overall leader now, the Irish-trained Don Leone. Don Leone from over on the far side, Tamari. On the near side, Signs, making very steady and significant progress. Signs towards the right with her white face. Myself next to her. Then in the centre, Don Leone. Then between horses is Bajura running fast. And over on the far side, it's still Tamari with now Home Magic coming there on the far side. Home Magic on the far side, but on the near side it's Myself the leader. Myself the leader on the near side now from Don Leone in the centre. Tanami under pressure over on the far side. Home Magic with Gagalander putting in a good run too. But it's Myself on the near side. Gagalander over on the far side. They race up towards the line. It looks like being another photo. Gagalander on the far side. Myself on the near side. Gagalander's just won it from Myself with Home Magic third. That's the 1, 2, 3. Gagalanter, Myself, Home Magic, and Tanami is probably fourth. But this is the winner. Number 6, Gagalanter, owned by Cheveley Park Stud Limited, trained by Michael Stud and written by Walter Swindon. Second was number 12, Myself, owned by Bloomsbury Stud, carrying the Tavistock colours of the Bloomsbury Stud, who so nearly duplicated the triumph of her 1980 winning Dam Pushy. Written by John Reed and trained by Peter Chapelheim. And third was number 7, Home Magic, owned by Mr. D.F. Allport and Mr. R.P.B. Michelson, trained by Michael Bell and written by Michael Hills.
The favourite never really got into it. About 6 on the right, badly hampered, 3 out. Now fighting a losing battle. Very great speed. Don Leone, the yellow colours in the centre of the course. Look towards the right and you see Myself starting her run. But the action's over on the left. Right on the extreme outside, Femme Savant, she flattered for a moment, ran a marvellous race. Gay Galanta, one from the left, now coming to make her challenge. And Home Magic is the other horse who at this point looked as though she'd come home. The favourite well beaten now. But now it's Home Magic, challenged by Gay Galanta on the far side. Don Leone weakened. Myself comes on the stand side with John Reed. And this is where Gay Galanta, despite holding her head high, racing differently to the way she ran at Sandown first time, she showed a lot of speed there. Today, Walter Swinburne's held her up, brought her with this challenge, come to collar Home Magic. Now there's the challenge of Myself on the stand side to contend with, and a great race for the line. And Walter, whose star hasn't been in the ascendant in the last 2 or 3 days, he's managed to nurse or drive this filly home. Filly who's shown so much improvement for that run at Sandown just a couple of weeks ago, back to 33 to 1 this morning. Although it's officially a photo, looks as though she's held on from the strong challenge of the Chapelheim runner, Myself, on this side. So close once again at the line, desperately close, but for me, Gay Galanta has just got it. Now this was the picture 2 out, and the damage already done, in fact, to the favourite. Now this is the favourite. If we can isolate her there, and you can see what happens here. Michael Canan looking for room, and it's Nag who comes across, as you can see, under a strong whip drive and totally takes the favourite's ground, and that put her out of contention. From now on, she was always fighting a losing battle.
Horse in the stall 6. Last one to go in is Walter Swinburne, I think, who's getting a little bit of trouble. Zafar, filly by Chris, and they'll try and get her in without blind. They'll try persuasion, but you can see the blinds in the handler's hand, in his left hand, in fact. Yes, they're going to pop them on quietly, I think. Walter's saying yes, but a little bit easy. They don't want to frighten this filly. And in fact, this filly, as Julian reminds me, was a very naughty girl when they tried to load her up on the aeroplane to go for the Irish 1,000 guineas, and in fact played up rather badly and hurt herself rather badly, but she looks okay now, and they think quite a lot of her at Michael Stout's stable, and that's nice to see her go in so nice and gently. Ooh, Walter's saying, oops, don't make a noise if we can. Just two fingers. Lines will come up in a moment, and I think they're nearly all in, so let's go to Peter.
That's it. She's the only unbeaten filly in the race too, just having a hood removed by Walter Swinburne. That's it, under orders, and they're away. Kissing Cousin breaks fast over on the far side, and Kissing Cousin going on. Kissing Cousin from Eternal Rev, and Lemon Souffle over on the far side. Making ground on the inside is relatively special, but it's Kissing Cousin making it, flashing her tail as she makes the pace from on the far side. Leicester on Lemon Souffle. Tracking these two are Eternal Rev. Just in behind them, Metcalf, and also relatively special. But racing towards the 5 furlong pole, and it's still Kissing Cousin with the advantage from Lemon Souffle past the 5, racing towards the 4, and Kissing Cousin from Lemon Souffle. Relatively special just in behind them with Eternal Rev, Lady Fairfax on the outside, racing towards the home turn now in the Coronation Stakes, and it's still Michael Cannan in the lead from Lester Pickett on Lemon Souffle. Then comes Eternal Rev and Cash Asmussen on the inside, and then Metcalf. Behind Metcalf is Lady Fairfax. Into the home straight, and still Kissing Cousin with the advantage. Kissing Cousin from Lemon Souffle. Metcalf's making ground towards the stand side. Kissing Cousin from Lemon Souffle in the center of the course. Kissing Cousin still making it from Eternal Rev, and then comes Metcalf on the outside. Las Meninas is making progress towards the stand side. They're racing inside the final furlong now, and it's Kissing Cousin from Metcalf, the challenger on the near side. Eternal Rev and Kissing Cousin as they race towards the line. Kissing Cousin and Eternal Rev. It's another photo between Kissing Cousin and Eternal Rev from Metcalf and Lemon Souffle and Las Meninas and Zafar. And looking right back to last place, it was Lady Fairfax. So once again a photo finish to the Coronation Stakes. A photo between number 2 Kissing Cousin, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Mick Kinnan, and number 1 Eternal Rev, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Francois Boutin and ridden by Cash Asmussen, with the lively possibility that Mick Kinnan has virtually sewn up the Ritz Club Charity Trophy by achieving his 4th success. But once again, it's a close one.
Another masterful piece of riding by Michael Cannan, waiting in front. Lester on his shoulder, turning in. Also Cash Asmussen on Eternal Rev. John Reed told to hold Las Meninas up, waiting for a split. Willie Carson's got the leaders covered on the outside, makes his move on Metcalf. Now John Reed gets out, but there's only 2 furlongs to run, and the ones up front aren't stopping. Michael Cannan goes for his whip, anxious not to raise his whip above the overarm position. Cash Asmussen there with his whip in his right hand, just throwing down his challenge. Lemon Souffle runs out of stamina here. Metcalf's still got a chance. Las Meninas has got too much to do and doesn't fire today. And now it becomes a duel between the 2 Sheikh Mohammed fillies. Eternal Rev throwing down her challenge. Cash Asmussen, the top rider in France. Michael Cannan, the top rider in Europe, perhaps. Willie Carson closing all the time in Metcalf, but without that little burst of toe that she seems to find so effectively on soft ground. It's the 2 fillies in the Sheikh Mohammed colours, just like the Queen Anne yesterday. On the far side, Michael Cannan getting a little bit extra out of Kissing Cousin. Will the post come in time for her? Following the new with guidelines. At the line, it's Kissing Cousin by a nostril, it looks, from Eternal Rev second, Metcalf third. Once again, what a race. So, Kissing Cousin in the photo, 13-2, with Eternal Rogue, 33-1 outside. And this is the view that the thousands inside the course enjoyed. This thrilling, pulsating driving finish. These two great jockeys riding with their sticks in their left hand, getting the last ounce of ability out of their fillies. Closest to the rails, Michael Canaan, the man of the moment, his fourth success of the Royal Meeting. Beyond them, Cash Asmussen, and the view that the judge sees, the view of Kissing Cousin with a nostril ahead of Eternal Rogue.
And the virtual assurance that this filly by Dane Hill out of First Kiss by Chris has become Henry Cecil's fifth.
That looks like Beware of Agents going in. And there's Leicester going in on Onotondo. I think that's it. Here's Peter O'Sullivan.
That's it. They're under orders. And Chickawicka breaks fast towards the near side. Chickawicka, one of the leaders on the near side, as they begin to settle down. Over on the far side, it's a King showing very good foot too, but it's Chickawicka just about the overall leader, being chased by Beware of Agents. In the center of the course, it's a King. Chickawicka on the right, Chickawicka being tracked by Chattleworth. Also prominent is Rustic Craft, and Band on the Run over on the far side is very prominent. Band on the Run, the leader of the group over on the far side. Palace Pageant showing very good foot too, and also showing well is Wandering Thoughts towards the center. Chickawicka still the leader towards the near side from Rustic Craft. Absolute Magic over on the far rail, showing good speed too. Band on the Run, and still Wandering Thoughts on the left-hand group, the far group as we see them at the moment. Wandering Thoughts just about the leader with Band on the Run. These two disputing it. Dyer's not far behind the lead over on the far side. Coming there on the near side is Lap of Luxury. Lap of Luxury and Rustic Craft, and KV on the near side too. And KV on the near side rail, just about the leader on the near side. Over on the far side, Far North is coming there very strongly. Face North rather. Face North on the far side. In the center, it's Realities. Realities in the center. Face North, then coming there is Lower Egypt, racing up towards the line. And also it's Sharp Review, and as they come to the line, it's going to be Face North. Face North is just the winner over on the far side. Face North has won it from Lower Egypt and Realities, and Sharp Review was looking right back to last place, safe bound. Well, for once, it's not a photograph, and not a photograph at the end of the 32-runner Royal Hunt Cup with number 26, Face North, owned by Normandy Developments Limited, trained by Reg Akehurst, and written by Alan Munro, the winner. It's very close for second, third, and fourth, with Lower Egypt involved, Realities involved, Sharp Review involved, but no doubt about the winner. It's another triumph for Reg Akehurst of Epsom, his 16th winner of the season, 26th winner of the season for Alan Munro. The final pace coming from the far to middle side, drawn 30. This Face North winner now of 7 of his 34 races. Just the number 26 in the frame, and a photograph for the remaining places.
All the early pace was in the center of the course. The ones on the stand side didn't have much chance. KV with the white cap came through with a good burst. But meanwhile, 3 from the left, Face North from the number 30 draw, has weaved his way through. The other horse, Reality, is there with a terrific chance with the white face. He, for a moment, looked like winning. Then looked to the white sleeves, Frankie Dettori on Lower Egypt, who's so nearly landed the spoils for the Spinal Injuries Association. But now inside the final furlong, it's Face North who's taken the lead. The last challenger with the noseband there, that's Sharp Review, Michael Canaan again. But Face North has it. Lower Egypt on this side. Sharp Review comes with a terrific run, but just too late to get there. The horse who was trained for the race last year, missed out last year, has got in the frame here, has finished third, but Face North wins the Royal Hunt Cup for Epsom. Lower Egypt is second. Sharp Review is almost certainly third. Realities is fourth. The winner returned at 25 to 1. Face North, another triumph for Reg Akers. And this is the judges' eye view. Face North, Lower Egypt, and for Ireland, Sharp Review in third. Realities the fourth horse.
That's Sharp Review. And Mick Kinnan.
Harris Sieber in Jermyn Street, and 20 to 1 bar.
Let's have a look at number 1. This is Amancio, trained by Guy Harwood. Was runner-up to 2 good colts early on this season. Behind Time Star at Brighton, and then at Kempton behind Al Riffa. Well, Al Riffa went on to run a good third in the French Derby. He finally gained his just reward when winning a 1.5 mile maiden at Kempton a week ago. He made most of the running that day, so I think we'll see Cash Asmussen keeping Amancio somewhere near the front rank today, John.
That's it, they're all in under starters' orders. 1.5 miles this King George V handicap and running. And settling down in the early stages, Midnight Legend on the inside. Midnight Legend with Red Route. Well placed, Amancio towards the outside. Just behind them come Durable and also Jermyn Street. Back marker at the moment is Acting Brave. And towards the left of the picture as we see them, it's Midnight Legend with Amancio up on his outside. Areciba is close in behind them. Then on the inside, Red Route. And also well up there Jermyn Street, and they're going a really blistering gallop and just coming down to the milepole, and Amancio has taken it up under Cash Asmussen. Amancio from Midnight Legend, then Areciba, and then Red Route. Just in behind Red Route is Jermyn Street, and then comes Alcove towards the outside, and then Durable on the inner, and still the back marker is Acting Brave. And Amancio still making it from Midnight Legend in second, Areciba third, Red Route next, and then comes Alcove on the outside with Jermyn Street next, followed by Durable. Latam is making quite good progress, and so is Bashir, but still Amancio making it the top weight from in second, Midnight Legend. Then comes Areciba. Then with his white face showing to the outside of Areciba is Alcove. As they race now towards the home turn in the King George V handicap, and it's Amancio and Midnight Legend who've been right up there from the outset, being tracked by Areciba. Then on the inside comes Jermyn Street. On the outer is Alcove as they swing into the turn now and round it. And it's Amancio still on the fence from Midnight Legend. Just in behind them, Red Route making good progress, then Areciba, and Alcove making ground towards the stand side with Latam coming there too. Over on the far side now, the leader is Midnight Legend from Red Route. It's Midnight Legend from Red Route. Then comes Durable in third place, racing up towards the line. And it's Midnight Legend from Red Route and Durable as they come to the line. Midnight Legend from Red Route and Durable. That's how they're going to finish. Midnight Legend is the winner. Red Route is second and Durable third. And running on to be fourth was Mystic Hill. Behind Mystic Hill came Latam, and then Kartikia and Alcove. And so the result of the King George V handicap, first, number 16, Midnight Legend, owned by Antoine Racing, trained by Luca Cumani and ridden by Jason Weaver, his 93rd winner of the season, Jason. Second was number 4, Red Route, owned by Clifton Start, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Michael Cannan. And third was number 12, Durable, owned by Mr. Herbert Allen, trained by John Gosden and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Fourth was number 3, Mystic Hill.
It's a race in which it always hopes to have a good position, and Jason was always on the first two, and Midnight Legend went on early in the straight. Michael Cannan also was always handy on Red Route, had every chance, 2 furlongs out, looked a real winner, but Midnight Legend well handicapped, proved to have the most resources. Durable's running through into third place. Latham flattered for a moment, as did Alcove in the pale colours. Coming through with the red cap on the rails, but all too late is Mystic Hill, who had a bad position turning into the straight. Active Brave was beaten after half a furlong. But on the run-in here, Jason Weaver, his first Ascot winner of the season. This young man riding with such confidence, holds his horse together. He just wobbled a little bit when he came under pressure on this firm, increasingly firm ground at the furlong marker. But now he's moving well again in the last furlong of the race, as Red Root seems to come to the end of his stamina, his first run over a mile and a half. Durable's pulling him back without getting in a real blow. So Luca Kamani gains his second success of the Royal Meeting.
There's the all blue colours of So Factual, who went down early. That's why we didn't see him in the paddock. He had permission to go down to the start early. Going in to stall 12 with Ray Cochrane, surprise offer. And Pat Edery going in next. And I think
Piccolo, I think John given a little bit of trouble there. Piccolo will be going into stall 17, as you say. We've got Lester Pat Edery about to go into surprise offer. One to go, let's go to Peter.
That's it. And they're running a blistering start by Marina Park. Also very fast, Royal Insignia, Ovington showing very good foot too. Coming down after covering a furlong, and Royal Insignia, Marina Park, College Chapel right up there in the centre too. Also showing very good speed is Watani in the centre. Watani the overall leader now in the blinkers. Watani the leader. From on the far side, Catrail, Marina Park and College Chapel right over on the far side with surprise offer. On the near side, it's Keen Hunter being followed by Owington. They're coming down now towards the 2 furlong pole, and it's Watani from on the far side, Catrail. Watani and Catrail. Owington coming there on the stand side now to dispute it. It's Owington on the stand side, Catrail on the far side. Between horses is So Factual, but Owington has taken it up now as they race into the closing stages. It's Owington from So Factual putting in a tremendous run on the far side. Owington and So Factual as they come to the line. Owington's going to win it. Owington's the winner. So Factual is second, and third is Catrail. 4 Redoubtable. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 1994 Cork and Orrery Stakes. With the result, first, number 8, Owington, owned by Baron G. von Ullman, trained by Jeff Ragg and ridden by Michael Hills, his second winner of the Royal Meeting. Second, number 9, So Factual, owned by Godolphin Racing, trained by Hilal Ibrahim and ridden by Ray Cochrane. Third was number 2, Catrail, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by John Gosden and ridden by Frankie Dettori, with fourth, number 14, Redoubtable. This is the winner, Owington.
Brilliant performance by the winner, always travelling well on the right with the noseband there. In the centre, Leicester had shown a lot of speed early on in College Chapel, but now dropping out four from the left. Also quick to drop out was Mutakdim, never travelling at all. At the furlong marker, Owington hits the front, and there's one challenger, So Factual, the horse who went down to post early, in the blue colours now, runs a terrific race. Catrail's there in the front line, but can't find any more. Redoubtable on the far side also. But Owington, once he's got there, shows his true quality. For a second it looked as though So Factual might pull him back, but Owington, Michael Hills, have things under control. A top sprinter, this 3-year-old, endorsing his fine performance at York. He goes on to win the Cork and Orrery today from So Factual, the 4-year-old, and the two of them are clear of last year's Diadem Stakes winner, Catrail, who turned out to be the best of John Gosden's 3-runner. And that's the
15 going at 11-2, 8-1 bar those. My Patriarch, one of the last. The last one to go in, I think, is Vintage Crop. Peter?
I think we've just got a couple more. Morley Street and Arcadian Heights, and then the 9 runners for the 1994 Ascot Gold Cup established. in 18.7, will be under orders, and that's it. 2.5 miles, and they're running, and Morley Street just dwells a little in the stalls, and Arcadian Heights going on in the early stages. Arcadian Heights from Carouge over on the far side, then Vintage Crop and Sonus, and My Patriarch with Cash Asmussen trying to relax My Patriarch. He's being followed by Safety in Numbers, and then Morley Street, who made up that ground. Oh So Risky in the back marker, Rain Trap, and Arcadian Heights making it from Carouge. Carouge, Nigel Twiston-Davis is Scottish champion hurdle winner and his first ever runner at Royal Ascot, in second here with Vintage Crop, the favourite. Third, then Sonus and My Patriarch, with Cash covering up My Patriarch to the best of his ability, trying to relax him. He's still taking a pretty strong hold though, being followed by Safety in Numbers. At Orrery as eased Rain Trap a little bit closer to the lead. Morley Street is next, and then the one-time Prix Gladiateur winner, Oh So Risky, the back marker, and Arcadian Heights, the leader, as they come down to the winning post with another complete circuit. And Arcadian Heights from Carouge, Vintage Crop and Sonus and My Patriarch, and then comes Rain Trap, Safety in Numbers, Morley Street, and finally Oh So Risky. Arcadian Heights by a couple of lengths from Carouge. The favourite, who's taken a pretty strong hold on Michael Cannan, in third. 4 is Sonus, 5 My Patriarch, 6 is Rain Trap, as they begin the run down towards Swinley Bottom. Just 1.5 miles to run now in the Gold Cup, and Arcadian Heights the leader from Carouge. Then Vintage Crop, then Sonus, then My Patriarch, who's taking a very strong hold still under Cash Asmussen. Behind him comes Rain Trap, Safety in Numbers, Morley Street, and then Oh So Risky. Arcadian Heights by a couple of lengths from Carouge, who's 3 lengths up on Vintage Crop, 1.5 lengths then to Sonus, 1.5 lengths or a length possibly only to My Patriarch, a gap of 2 then to Rain Trap, then Safety in Numbers, Morley Street, and Oh So Risky. Running down into Swinley Bottom, and still Arcadian Heights with My Patriarch tugging his way up there, in fact, to challenge him and take it up with a mile. Cash Asmussen clearly sees no point in continuing a battle with him. He's hoping to relax him in front. He's gone to the front on My Patriarch, with Arcadian Heights second, Vintage Crop is third. Oh So Risky is making a good run from the rear now. 7 furlongs to run, and it's My Patriarch from Arcadian Heights and Vintage Crop. Then on the outside, Oh So Risky. Behind Oh So Risky, Carouge, and then Sonus. And behind Sonus is Rain Trap. Morley Street is now the back marker, 1 in front of him, and being chased along is Safety in Numbers. And it's My Patriarch from Arcadian Heights, Vintage Crop. Then Oh So Risky on the outside of Carouge. Sonus getting closer. They're well inside the final half mile now. Arcadian Heights goes back to challenge My Patriarch for the lead as they swing into the home straight here at Ascot, and it's Arcadian Heights and My Patriarch, these two from Vintage Crop. Behind them Sonus and Oh So Risky coming home well. Arcadian Heights has gone for home now with the challenger Vintage Crop. Then comes Sonus, and then comes Rain Trap putting in a run as My Patriarch drops out of it. It's Arcadian Heights from Vintage Crop. Arcadian Heights inside the final furlong from Vintage Crop. Arcadian Heights from Vintage Crop as they race up towards the line. Arcadian Heights is holding Vintage Crop. Arcadian Heights is going to win the Gold Cup. That's the line. Arcadian Heights is the winner. Vintage Crop is second. Sonus is third. Rain Trap 4. Safety Numbers 5. 6 is Oh So Risky. 7 is Carouge. 8 is Morley Street. And 9th and last, there was no chance of him getting home. The way he pulled was My Patriarch, and so a sensational result to the 1994 Ascot Gold Cup, and the winner, number 1, Arcadian Heights, owned by Mr. John Pearce, trained by Jeffrey Ragg and ridden by Michael Hills, puts Michael on the 3-winner mark, and what a fantastic double for the trainer and the rider to complete after their triumph in the Cork and Orrery. Second was number 6, the favourite Vintage Crop, owned by Dr. Michael Smurfit, trained by Michael Cannan, trained by Dermot Weld and ridden by Michael Cannan. And third was number 5, Sonus.
We're saying that quite a lot of the fancied horses are drawn high. T Service is 16, Top Pearl 15, Raoul Garb 14, Brave Music 13, and Made for Walking 12. They're 5 of the favourites. So I think we'll see a lot of pace over on the far side. One or two of them still haven't come round from the front of the stalls. There's T Service just coming round from behind the stalls and going to go into stall 16.
There she is. In fact, John T Service. She's won her lad, Michael Cassidy, £100, so he's won a lovely prize already as the best turned out in the paddock, and she really did look well. In fact, I think the judge must have had a very difficult task of judging the best turned out, because I thought all of them looked absolutely splendid. She's 14 to 1 at the moment in the market. There in number 2 stall getting the pat is Sub-Zero from Kevin Darley. But we've yet to fill the number 1 stall, which is Polly Particular, and she's standing quite quietly up the back with Pat Edery. Pat got off his 59th winner yesterday on a very, very nice filly of Barry Hills's in the Ribblesdale. There she is, Polly Particular. John, I thought she caught the eye in the paddock.
Yes, trained in the north, Polly Particular will be going into stall 1, needing the blindfold, Pat Edery's mount. Pat got off the mark for the meeting and the Ribblesdale Stakes yesterday evening after you'd left us, with a all-the-way win on Bolus and a very easy win too. And that was a dramatic race, the one in which the Spectator ran onto the course and brought down Papago. In goes Hinton Rock into stall number 7. Let's join Peter O'Sullivan.
That's it, Polly Perpendicular nearest to us. They're under Sarda's orders and they're away. A very fast break by Sub-Zero towards the right of the picture, and Polly Particular right up there too, and over on the far side showing very good foot is Top Pearl. Top Pearl over on the far side, just about the leader from Made for Walking. On the stand side is Polly Particular. Right up with them also is Super Deeds. And also showing good speed is 6 for Luck. And it's Super Deeds, 6 for Luck. Over on the far side, Top Pearl. On the near side, Polly Particular. And very, very wide open at the moment. Coming there over on the far side is Brave Music, with also making a run T Service. They're coming down now towards the furlong pole. Brave Music over on the far side, just about the overall leader, with Hinton Rock coming there very strongly to challenge, and Royal Garb also, but it's Brave Music from Royal Garb and T Service as they race up towards the line. Brave Music is going to win this. Brave Music, Richard Quinn wins his 4th race. Second is Royal Garb, 3rd T Service, and so Richard Quinn joins Mick Kinnan on the 4-winner mark here at Royal Ascot, with the winner of the Windsor Castle Stakes, number 4, Brave Music, owned in partnership by Lord Portman and the Honourable Piers Portman, trained by Paul Cole, his 3rd 2-year-old winner of the meeting, and ridden by Richard Quinn. Second was number 6, Ra El Garb, owned by Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, trained by Michael Stout and ridden by Walter Swinburne. And third was the Irish Challenger, number 16, T Service, owned by Mr. M. Hugger, trained by Michael Corns and ridden by Warren O'Connor.
So a fine ride by Richard Quinn, always there in a good position on the far side. Made for Walking showed good speed for 4 furlongs but couldn't quicken up. Top Pearl with the white cap, very, very fast early on. But now the winner, Brave Music, forges through on the far side. Top Pearl's rider goes for his whip. And the one that comes from off the pace, Rar Al Garb, Walter Swinburne, 3 from the left as we look now, comes with a really good run, has to change direction in the last furlong. With the white cap on the far side is T-Service. May Hinton is the other one that comes with a chance. The ground towards the far side of the course looks best. Now that's where Walter had to change direction, move over to challenge on the outside, the far side of Brave Music, but the challenge was easily held. T-Services held on well for 3rd place, but this was a good win for Brave Music, back this morning at big prices, landing a nice long odds gamble for the Paul Cole stable, and putting Richard Quinn on the 4-winner mark for the season. This is where the action is, over on the far side of the course, and Richard Quinn winning a second 2-year-old race of the meeting for Paul Cole. Remember, Sri Pekin won the Coventry Stakes on the first day. This one comes home to land some very nice bets indeed. Ra Al Garb, perhaps a little unlucky in running, but clearly beaten on merit, about 2 lengths down at the line.
That's it, under orders and they're away. Running down towards Swinley Bottom, and Bob's Return, the gamble of the race, takes it up right away. Bob's Return going on, right win on the inside. On the far side is Wagon Master. Between horses, Dancing Bloom, Bob's Owl close. In fact, they're very closely packed in behind Bob's Return, who runs down towards Swinley Bottom in the lead. Bob's Return from Dancing Bloom, right up there, Royal Ballerina, Wagon Master on the outside. On the inner is Right Win, then comes Bob's Owl, then Desert Team. And behind them, Winged Victory, and the back marker at the moment is George Augustus. 1 from last is Silver Wisp. They're coming up to the mile pole already, and as they do so, Bob's Return is overtaken now by Wagon Master, and Wagon Master going on from Bob's Return. Royal Ballerina is 3rd. Then comes Dancing Bloom and Blush Rambler and Desert Team. And behind them, Bob's Owl and George Augustus still the back marker past the 7 pole. And Wagon Master and Willie Carson still. From Bob's Return in 2nd, then comes Royal Ballerina. Just in behind Royal Ballerina is Desert Team. Then on the outside, Wagon Master. On the inside is Desert Bloom, Blush Rambler just behind Desert Bloom, and then Right Win, and then Silver Wisp, and finally George Augustus past the 5 pole, and still Wagon Master and Willie Carson from Bob's Return, and Philip Robinson. Royal Ballerina going very well in 3rd. 4 is Winged Victory. Bob's Owl being rushed up there. Desert Team comes next, then Blush Rambler behind him. They're racing towards the home turn now, and as they do so, it's Wagon Master being pressed again by Bob's Return. These two have disputed it virtually throughout. Bob's Owl comes next, and then Royal Ballerina on the outside. They're racing towards the 2 pole, and Bob's Return being tackled now on the outside by Bob's Owl. Over on the far side, Wagon Master. Royal Ballerina still coming there. It's Bob's Return, Wagon Master and Bob's Owl, little between them, and it's Bob's Return and Bob's Owl. Bob's Owl taking it up fractionally now from Bob's Return as they race into the closing stages, and it's Bob's Owl from Bob's Return. George Augustus finishing well from the rear, but it's Bob's Owl on the near side, and on the far side, Bob's Return, and Bob's Owl is just going to win it at the line. Bob's Owl's won it. Bob's Return is 2nd, and 3rd is Wagon Master, and 4 George Augustus. 5 came Royal Ballerina. And behind Royal Ballerina was Winged Victory, and then Blush Rambler and Desert Team and Dancing Bloom and Right Win, and last was Silver Wisp. And so the result of the Hardwicke Stakes, one of the great training performances in the career of Mr. Terry Mills. The winner, number 7, Bob's Owl, owned and trained by Terry Mills and ridden by John Reed, who gets his name on the Ritz Club Charity Trophy at the Royal Meeting at last. 2nd was number 1, the gamble of the race, Bob's Return, owned by Mrs. G.A.E. Smith, trained by Mark Tompkins and ridden by Philip Robinson. 3rd was number 8, the long-time prominent Wagon Master, owned by Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, trained by Alex Stewart, ridden by Willie Carson. And 4th was number 4, George Augustus.
Well, they went a terrific gallop. Bob's Return jumped out of the gate, soon headed by Wagon Master, who kept up the gallop. On the outside, Bob's Owl starting to throw down his final challenge. Royal Ballerina flattered for a moment, but she's beaten now. Winged Victory was the only other one that got into contention, but the first 5 were clear. and Blush Rambler was beaten before even the straight. Now Bob Zero goes into the lead, goes half a length up, but Bob's Return is so brave, he won't give up the battle. He battles away under Philip Robinson's strong driving, and he comes back at Bob Zero, who used to be a 1.25 mile maximum horse, gets the trip now at the age of 5, and won't give in. Philip asks for everything for Bob's Return, and he answers with so much courage. But Bob Zero has the resources. It's his ground today. It's his race for the Hardwicke Stakes. A famous win for Terry Mills.
And officially, it's
quick. 50 to 1 bar.
And they're running, and Locksong goes straight into the lead. Locksong, the leader from Palace Gate Jack and Westman. Locksong leading him by 2, 3, 4 lengths. Crouching low as usual and letting her do the work, just sitting there poised aboard this great mare, Frankie Dettori, as he runs down towards the halfway mark in the Kingston Stakes. Locksong clear of Palace Gate Jack and Westman, with making just a little bit of ground. Bunty Boo towards the right, towards the near side. They're racing up towards the furlong marker, and Locksong clear of the remainder. He simply hasn't moved a muscle on this mare. Brighton Lad has gone into second place ahead of Westman, but it's Locksong all the way as they race up towards the line. The crowd giving her a tremendous cheer. It's a beautiful street performance, this. Locksong romps home the easy winner. Brighton Lad is second and Westman is third. That's the 1, 2, 3 in the 1994 Kingston Stakes. The result. First,
you can get in front of Bob's Return, 2 more to low for the Coral Eclipse, the 18th year, the Coral sponsorship. And good to see a bookmaking firm sponsoring a top-class conditions race. That's it, they're lined up under starters' orders, and they race away for the Coral Eclipse. Binage Ward slow to go, but we anticipated that, and it's Latam and Bob's Return who are cutting out the pace. We could almost play for that. Perfect Imposter showing third. Then Izood racing 4, Air Half the Rail, Coringa Bay out wide, 2 lengths back to Environment Friend on the inside of Environment Friend, Binage Ward. But it's Bob's Return using that stride, the one in the ledger, the leader. By about a neck to Latam. They're really going fast, 3, 4 lengths back to Perfect Imposter, 2 lengths back to Air Half Izood, the outside of him. Then Coringa Bay, Environment Friend and Binage Ward, the trailers. They're the leading pair. Bob's Return runs the rail, the red cap, Latam out wide. Perfect Imposter, Richard Quinn looks round to see where Air Half is, the striped cap. Blue cap on the outside, Izood, the spotted cap, red and white, Coringa Bay, the grey horse, Environment Friend, and the striped sleeves, Binage Ward. That's the order as they begin the turn out of the back straight, and it certainly looks a course record time for me. It's Bob's Return, the leader, clear by 2 lengths down. Latam in second, 5 lengths back to Perfect Imposter, and then the other 5 in a heap, headed by Air Half, as they start the turn in, and it's Bob's Return, stretching the field, clear by 3. To Latam in second and Perfect Imposter, and then Air Half and Environment Friend had to be checked on the turn in. It's Bob's Return blazing the trail. Down the straight they come, down to the 3, and Bob's Return at a long bursting pace from Latam in second. Then Perfect Imposter. Here comes the favourite Air Half, but he's being rousted along and taken by Izood. Then Binage Ward, Environment Friend is last, and they come down to the 2 furlong marker, and it's Bob's Return running the rail. Striped cap, Air Half under pressure. Izood the outside for Walter Swinburne, travelling well. They've got a furlong and a half to go, and Bob's Return runs out of gas now, and it's Izood the outside of Air Half. They'll come inside the final furlong, and it's Izood in the lead by a neck to Air Half, the Derby winner. Bob's Return is nothing if not brave, and he's rallying as Air Half gives up, and Izood goes on. It's Izood's Eclipse up towards the line. Izood's going to take it. Izood is the winner. Bob's Return second, Air Half third, Environment Friend through for 4. Well clear of Binage Ward, Coringa Bay, and then Latam and Perfect Imposter last of all. And so the old boy Izood in the colours of Maktoum Al Maktoum. This one trained by Michael Stoughton, ridden by Walter Swinburne, the 5-to-1 winner of this, the Coral Eclipse. Well, he certainly had a going day today to take the race. But for me, the honours go to Bob's Return, who has run a long bursting race from the front under Philip Robinson, looked to be beaten with a furlong to go, and he's rallied to take second place in the Coral Eclipse, and thus deprived the Derby winner Air Half, who only finished third, Willie Carson, the striped cat. As they started the turn in, the grey Environment Friend may have met with a little bit of interference. on the turn in, but this is Ezud's race. Walter Swinburne at his brilliant best, coaxing this son of last Tycoon. Every ounce of energy is needed and had to wait until the last minute. When he says go with determination and drive, and it's Walter Swinburne who pushes this 5-year-old out to the line. He is pricked in the end.
Oh dear, the generation question was asked.
Obviously expected to see and dominate from the start. The thing is, of course, will Willie Carson keep a straight track, or will he edge over to the far rail and tighten up those drawn 5 through 1? Piccolo, one of the last to load. That could leave the room open for Barathea to challenge fast and late. We'll soon know. Don't blink, they race away July Cup. Locksong gets the call already, clear by 2, and she's clear by 3. Barathea chasing the Redoubtable with a yellow cap and Dolphin Street, and Locksong is tacking over to the far rail, and it's Locksong clear leader in the July Cup for the first furlong. By a length and a half to Redoubtable, the black and yellow cap, and then comes Barathea, Lavinia Fontana behind that, and then Piccolo. On the rails is Dolphin Street, and one of the back markers as they go through the first furlong and a half is Owington. Also towards the rear is Splice, but they come down towards the halfway stage, and it's Locksong really motoring, but only the length leader to Barathea the outside. Michael Kinnan just chasing along to go with it. Then Redoubtable through into third, then Lavinia Fontana. Catrail, the white cap for Frankie Dettori, is the winner's getting closer now. 2 furlongs to go. It's still Locksong. Here comes Barathea. Catrail, the white cap. Owington's pulled out wide. Redoubtable behind these, and now Locksong. Pressed and passed by Barathea. Catrail, here comes Owington on the outside of the pack. Dolphin Street is finishing fast. They're inside the final furlong, and it's Owington now that goes on. Owington comes to take it. Dolphin Street is finishing fast. Locksong is beat. Up towards the line, it's going to be Owington who takes it. Owington, Dolphin Street 1-2. Very close for third, Catrail and Barathea. These ahead of Splice, and then Piccolo and Redoubtable. And then came Locksong. Her crown has slipped a long way clear, though, of Lavinia Fontana. And so the result of this, the July Cup, it's gone to the improving 3-year-old number 7 Owington in the colours of Baron G. von Ullmann, trained here at Newmarket by Geoffrey Ragg and ridden by Paul Orrery, his 48th and by far the most important winner of the season. From the stall 1, but he had to take back and come round and challenge late and wide. This is a thoroughly sound sprinting performance, but close home, Dolphin Street for Cash Asmussen didn't find daylight early on. That's gone through into second place. It's a very close call for third between Catrail, who's got third place just ahead of Barathea, who's in fourth. And as we edge this on, we see Splice in 5 and Piccolo in 6 and Redoubtable in 7 and Locksong in 8. And they're a long way clear of the only other horse in the race, Lavinia Fontana. A rather sad sight that to see Locksong trailing this field of top-class sprinters, but let's take it away from the improving 3-year-old. Owington has won this, bred at the Stanley Estate and Stud Company. Well done to them and all their team. Well done to Pat Edery. Feel sorry for Michael Hills, who could well have had the mount in this race, but it's going to be, well, Owington and Paul Edery in the record books who take this, the Group 1 July Cup, this improving sprinter who's done nothing wrong this season, and he's come to take the race and repel the challenge of Dolphin Street, who came late and fast. Determined, gritted face of Paul Edery, but a Group 1.
They're under orders and they're running, and Concept House is a little bit slow away, and Camasine goes on with King's Theatre right up there in the early running too, but Camasine the leader from King's Theatre. Then comes Al Reefer on the inside with Balanchine prominent, in fact just slightly checked there Balanchine. To Cannon's up there on the outside. Concept House is still the back marker. Camasine making it. Camasine from King's Theatre on the outside of Al Reefer, and then to Cannon. Behind to Cannon is Balanchine. Then on the inside is Colonel Collins. Just behind Colonel Collins is Ionio. Behind Ionio is Kajarian, and then Concept House, and Camasine ensuring a very strong, powerful gallop now in this Budweiser Irish Derby as they pass the 9 furlong pole. Camasine by about 4 lengths from Al Reefer. Then comes the favourite King's Theatre with Balanchine on his inside. Then Ticannon and Colonel Collins. Behind them Kajarian, Ionio and Concept House. racing right-handed now, downhill slightly, and Camasine still the leader by only about 3 now from Al Reefer, Balanchine. King's Theatre's back in 4th, then Ticanon and Colonel Collins and Kajarian, Concept House and Dionio. And Camasine's lead reduced to about a length and a half now by Balanchine on the inside. On the outside, Al Reefer gapped in of about 3 lengths to the favourite. King's Theatre being conserved there by Michael Cannan. Then comes Ticanon for France. Colonel Collins on the inside. Kajarian making a little bit of progress. Ionian and Concept House are still the back markers. And now going up on the outside of Camasine is Balanchine. Balanchine and Frankie Dettori on the filly coming to challenge Camasine. Then getting closer all the time is King's Theatre. Al Reefer's back in 4th place, and then comes Colonel Collins. They're inside the final half mile now in the Budweiser Irish Derby, and as they swing into the home straight with 3.5 furlongs to run, it's Balanchine on the inside, but King's Theatre getting right into the argument now with Al Reefer on the outside. It's Balanchine from King's Theatre. The outside of Camasine is Balanchine. Balanchine and Frankie Dettori on the filly coming to challenge Camasine. Then getting closer all the time is King's Theatre. Al Reefer's back in 4th place, and then comes Colonel Collins. They're inside the final half mile now in the Budweiser Irish Derby, and as they swing into the home straight with 3.5 furlongs to run, it's Balanchine on the inside, but King's Theatre getting right into the argument now with Al Reefer on the outside. It's Balanchine from King's Theatre. They're coming to the 2 furlong pole. Balanchine on the far rail, King's Theatre in the centre of the course. Ticanon's making a run on the outside. It's Balanchine from King's Theatre as they come down towards the furlong marker in the Budweiser Derby. It's the filly Balanchine, and Frankie Dettori is going to win the Derby in his first attempt. They're racing up towards the line, and Balanchine has it absolutely sewn up. Balanchine, a brilliant winner of the Budweiser Irish Derby. Second is King's Theatre, and third Colonel Collins. 4 came Al Reefer, 5 to Gallen, 6 Ionio, 7 was Kajarian, 8 Camasine, and last is Concept House. And so the result of the 1994 Budweiser Irish Derby is first, number 9, Balanchine. She's done what Salsabil did 4 years ago, owned by Sheikh Maktoum Al Maktoum and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Second was number 7, the favourite King's Theatre, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Michael Cannan. There he is coming to challenge Balanchine now with officially third, number 3, Colonel Collins, who's making his run just in behind him. But there's Balanchine over on the far side with her white face. She is not going to be denied. And Michael Cannan riding in his 12th Irish Derby, still the 9 times champion, still to win it. He must have had momentary thoughts that he was going to get to the filly at this point, but once she lengthened her stride, she went further and further away. A brilliant performance by this daughter of Storm Bird out of Morning Devotion, who won the Oaks in great style, was won on contrastingly different ground today. It was very soft at Epsom. It's good to yielding today, but the ground clearly makes no difference to her. Oh, Frankie Dettori, whose father rode in this race unplaced in 1977, has won it at his first attempt. What a golden season for him. She strides away, Balanchine, from King's Theatre. Did he stay or didn't he? Whether he stayed or not, he certainly wasn't good enough.
Well, but as you can see, something's upsetting him at the start.
I wonder if that's that Coral Eclipse, Julian, just beginning to tell on him, because he made nearly all the running, if not most of it, that day at a terrific pace. And this is a game horse, and all the way to the line he fought as hard as he could, just rolling off to the left a little bit in the final furlong. I think he'll know that he had a race that day. As you say, he looked marvellous in the paddock. I think the connections have done a great job with him, but I just wonder if he's just beginning to think a little bit. 7-1 from 13-2. He's a lovely horse, one of my favourites, and I bet he runs a big race today, but he's just been a little bit temperamental.
Just 3 weeks since the Coral Eclipse, that really was a tough race. He's answered every question asked of him so far, but you never know what's in their minds, however well they look in themselves. Ezud, and the mind is the key factor with this horse, because the Eclipse was set up for him. He's back to 12-1 now. He's a horse who likes one horse to strike at. It happened at York last year when Savour Hill burst clear in the Juddmonte International, and Ezud went after him and reeled him in. In the Eclipse, it was the same with Bob's Return. He had a target. Now, will the scenario be the same today, I wonder, or will there be 3 or 4 horses in the line, 2 out? That's not the sort of scenario that suits Ezud.
It's not the easiest of rides for Walter, but Walter knows him well, and I think he'll have to actually pick on which horse that he's going to follow. If he's lucky enough to pick on the horse that's going to run second, well, he's going to take a lot of beating if he gets a mile and a quarter.
Stage set for a great race. Let's join Peter O'Sullivan.
They're under riders' orders. And they're away. And going on in the early stages, Urgent Request. And on the inside, Petit Lou and Bob's Return right with them. And Bob's Return takes it up now from Urgent Request in second, and third Petit Lou. Then comes King's Theatre just in behind them with Wagon Master next, and then Foyer. Air Harb on the outside. And there's a loose horse too. White Muzzle comes next. And Ezud is the loose horse. Ezud is taking no part, and Bob's Return taken on now by Urgent Request. Urgent Request going on from Bob's Return. The loose horse is among the leaders too over on the far side as they come down to the mile pole in a sensational King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes with Urgent Request the leader. Spot Ezud over on the far side in his visor. Second, though, is Bob's Return. Third is Wagon Master. They're going at blistering speed. Then about 4 lengths behind Wagon Master comes Petit Lou, and behind Petit Lou is King's Theatre, and then Foyer, and behind Foyer, White Muzzle on the inside with Environment Friend. And now going up on the inside of Bob's Return, Urgent Request and Bob's Return together from Wagon Master. Then comes Petit Lou with King's Theatre on the outside, and then Foyer. Air Harb's making a little bit of ground from the rear. White Muzzle also making some progress. Bob's Return it is now by about a length from Urgent Request. They're all a bit nervous up front of this loose horse. Bob's Return and Philip Robinson in the lead, though, from Urgent Request. Wagon Master goes third, then King's Theatre and Petit Lou, and behind Petit Lou is Foyer, then Air Harb. And then comes White Muzzle, and then on the outside it's Apple Tree, Environment Friend, and Chateauillon next, and Ezud swings wide as they come into the straight and run to the 2 furlong pole with Bob's Return the leader. Bob's Return being pressed all the time by Wagon Master, who takes it up now. Wagon Master being hampered slightly by the loose horse. King's Theatre's moved into second. White Muzzle's putting in a tremendous finish, and it's King's Theatre and Wagon Master from White Muzzle. White Muzzle coming there strong in a challenger. It's King's Theatre from White Muzzle as they race into the closing stages. King's Theatre's going to win it from White Muzzle at the line. King's Theatre's won it. White Muzzle is second. Third is Wagon Master, 4 Apple Tree, and behind Apple Tree came Petit Lou, and then Foyer, then Bob's Return, and then Air Harb, bitterly disappointing. Chateauillon came next, and Environment Friend, and tailed off last was one of the early leaders, Urgent Request. And so the result of the 1994 King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Diamond Stakes is first, number 12, King's Theatre, owned by Sheikh Mohammed and Mr. Michael Poland, trained by Henry Cecil, ridden by Michael Canan, only his second ride in the race, and he won on only his previous one, Belmares, in 1990. Second, under a fine ride from Utakatake, was number 9, White Muzzle, owned by Mr. Teruya Yoshida, trained by Peter Chappelheim and ridden by the Japanese champion Utakatake. And third was number 8, the always prominent Wagon Master, carrying the second colours of Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, trained by Alex Stewart and ridden by Richard Hills. With fourth, number 1 for France, Apple Tree, owned by Mr. S. Al Kabir, trained in France by André Fabre and ridden by Thierry Janet. But this is the winner, King's Theatre. Went to post, winner of 4 of his 9 races, and the earner of £412,124. They went to post, these horses, winners of 53 races, earning £4,486,728. And the winner, King's Theatre, repeatedly hampered this 12-to-1 chance by the loose horse Ezud, but he battled on in tremendous style to win on ground which had been thought, as a son of Sadler's Wells, would be too firm for him. There is White Muzzle, once again the bride, second last year, second again.
Possibly the most dramatic renewal of this race in 44 years. Walter Swinburne was drawn 6 in the middle there, and somehow he's less behind in the first 10 yards of the race. Already there, he's gone, the horse is loose, and Walter was left behind after the first 10 yards.
King's Theatre getting a tremendous reception, this son of Sadler's Wells out of Regal Beauty. And what a triumph for Michael Cannan. Just his second ride in the race, and he won it on his first on Belmares in 1990. Henry Cecil there greeting. He's to go, so's Mr. Bailey's, so's First Trump. Mr. Bailey's goes into stall 1. First Trump's in. That's it. They're all installed. Under orders, and they're away. Redoubtable up there, and Mr. Bailey's on the outside. Mr. Bailey's, Barathier also up there with the pace, and Grand Lodge just in behind him. And Mr. Bailey's blazing the trail from Sayadati, moves into second now. Over on the far side is Grand Lodge. First Trump just in behind the lead with Barathier. Distant View comes next on the inside with Big Stone next, and then comes Bluegrass Prince, and Redoubtable drop back to last, and Mr. Bailey's setting the pace from Grand Lodge in second. These two who were principals in the 2000 Guineas. 1-2 at the moment from Sayadati on the inside, last year's second. Then comes First Trump on the outside, Barathier is next, and then Distant View just behind Distant View. Redoubtable has made a bit of ground. Still in rear is Big Stone, so's Bluegrass Prince. They're running downhill with just over 3 furlongs to run now. Well into the straight, and still Mr. Bailey's with his white face showing in the lead from Grand Lodge. First Trump on the outside, Bluegrass Prince trying to produce a run on the inside. Sayadati still going well. Big Stone hasn't been unleashed yet. They're coming down to the 2-pole, and it's still Mr. Bailey's in the lead from Grand Lodge. Here comes Barathier with a run towards the stand side, then Distant View, and it's Barathier who's taken it up now. Barathier storms into the lead under Minkinham, being pressed by Distant View. It's Barathier from Distant View as they race into the closing stages of the Sussex. Barathier on the far side, Distant View on the outside. Distant View's going to get up and win it at the line. Distant View is better than Barathier is second, and Grand Lodge third. A photo for fourth between Mr. Bailey's and Sayadati. And amazingly, Big Stone only beat one home, and that was Bluegrass Prince. And so the result of the 1994 Sussex Stakes is first, number 5, Distant View, owned by Mr. Khaled Abdullah, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Pat Edery. Second was number 1, Barathier, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Luca Kumani and ridden by Mick Kinnan, with third, number 7, Grand Lodge, owned by Lord Howard of Walden, trained by Willie Jarvis and ridden by Frankie Dettori. So Pat Edery wins the Sussex Stakes for the 5th time, and Henry Cecil, who won it in 75, 76 and 79, wins it for the 4th time. This £97,000 first prize to the winner. A photo for 4th place between Sayadati and Mr. Bailey's.
Well, what a race and a triumph for the 3-year-old generation. Pat Edery wasn't in a good position here. He'd been off the bridle from a little way out, just niggling along and passing the 3-furlong marker. He's in 5th place on the rails with nowhere to go. At this point, Mr. Bailey's was just starting to show signs of distress. You see his head going to one side, which means he's running out of oxygen or feeling some pain. In 2nd place, Frankie Dettori on Grand Lodge in a perfect position, in the box position, but he hadn't got the horse under him that he hoped. Walter Swinburne looking for room on the rails. Barathea comes on the outside, Michael Cannan. He looked the most likely winner at this point. And now Pat's pulled off the rails and come to the wide outside to make his challenge, and he's still got 3 lengths to make up as they come to the distance. Mr. Bayliss is done with now. His courage has run out. Barathea hits the front and looks sure to go on and win. Sir Darty can't find any more on the rails, nor indeed can Grand Lodge. And now it's just a question of, can Pat Edery catch his great rival Michael Cannan in a thrilling last 200 yards? Barathea, the 4-year-old, still in front at this stage and answering every call from Michael Cannan. But Pat Edery goes into overdrive now. He's determined to avenge that great race in the St. James's Palace Stakes when Michael beat him riding Grand Lodge. And he's got there. He's got up in the last 50 yards of the race to gain his 5th success in the Sussex Stakes. He wins by about half a length after a great race with Grand Lodge back in 3rd. Well, here you can see Pat with the pink cap pulling off the rails and pulling to the wide outside to ensure there were no traffic problems. Problems that Walter Swinburne, if he had enough filly underneath him, certainly would have met on the rails there in the blue colours, because Mr. Bayliss was battling on. Frankie Dettori was still there. Michael Cannan has edged over towards the rails. There's no room up the inside route. And Big Stone, likewise, doesn't see a great deal of room, but the ground was too lively for him today, and he never got into contention with a noseband behind. Pat pulls to the outside, riding with his whip in his right hand, drives his horse out, and this horse fulfills Henry Cecil's claims that he'd never been better, justifies the trainer's confidence, and gains a famous win.
Yes, Henry was really bullish about this.
With wide of those Chatoyant. Then Mutaram tucked in off the pace, and so too is Grand Lodge, and Bob's returned the back marker, and they've gone through the first quarter mile. And it's Alflora stretching them under Michael Roberts. King's Theatre is 2nd, and then Spartan Sharif showing 3rd, Izood is 4th. Then Chatoyant on the outside, Mutaram's on the inner, then Grand Lodge and Bob's returned the back marker. And they come down towards the 6 furlong pole. They'll soon be starting to turn in. And there are about 5 lengths between the lot of them, and as they pass the 6th pole, it's still Alflora that has the edge. To King's Theatre in 2nd, Spartan Sharif in 3rd, Chatoyant's noseband just popping through on the outside of Cher's 3rd, Izood tucked up behind these, and then comes Bob's Return. Mutaram runs the rail, and Grand Lodge is the trailer as they start to turn in. And the pace quickening, and it's Alflora on the front end. King's Theatre is after him, Spartan Sharif. Izood's travelling well there in the blinkers. Bob's Return the outside, Grand Lodge, Mutaram all out the back at this stage, and they've got 3.5 to go. And it's King's Theatre who goes for home. Mick Kinnane's asked him to go, and he's gone to take Alflora, but off the pace, Izood is coming after him. Then comes Mutaram. Grand Lodge with a lot of running to do, and Izood is in a going mood today as they come down past the 2, and King's Theatre is going to be pressed by Izood, but here comes Mutaram on the outside, and it's a wall of 3 as they come down to the final furlong. It's Izood with Mutaram, the stand side of Stripe Cap. They're inside the final furlong. Stripe Cap, Mutaram, pale cap Izood, and it's a ding-dong battle as they race up towards the line, and Izood is sticking his neck out. Izood is the game performer. Mutaram running, but Izood takes it from Mutaram. King's Theatre 3rd, Grand Lodge 4, and then came Spartan Sharif in 5. Bob's Return, those tactics didn't work, but he beat Alflora, and in the end, Chatoyant, who was last of Royal. And so the result then of this, the Group 1 Juddmonte International. He won the race last year when he was 28 to 1, 4 to 1 are the odds of reward on horse number 4, Izood, who's winning the race for the 2nd time in the colours of Maktoum Al Maktoum, trained at Newmarket by Michael Snout and ridden by Walter Swinburne, for whom this winner is the 54th of the season. And well, he had to battle, because he had to come and take King's Theatre on the right there. Mick Kinnane in the white sleeve jacket, he asked that horse, Sadler's Wells horse, to go on as they came past the 3. Izood took him, and then he had to deal with Mutaram on the left in the striped cap. Willie Carson down in the drive position, asking him to go, and he came to close on Izood, but Izood just found the stronger stride, and as they race up towards the line, just has to be shown the whip by Walter Swinburne to come and take this £290,000 Group 1 prize, and Walters landed another big race winner. Confirmation as they went past the post. The judge calls a photo, but on that evidence it's Izood who's taken it, and indeed on that evidence looks as if Walter Swinburne scored a salmon, doesn't it? The way his whip's bending there. Izood has won it, Mutaram the far side, and these are clear of King's Theatre. A grand race.
Azud weak in the market, but they can't call him gutless anymore. Returned the 4-1 third favourite and beats the well-backed Muterum, sent off 11-4 second best, with King's Theatre third at 5-2 favourite, and Azud 28-1 winner last year, the second horse to win the race twice. Dahlia, the French filly with Leicester Pickett, won it twice in 74 and 75. Azud, you can't call him gutless ever again after that.
Well, we expect to see him up there early on. One of two yet to be installed, Ionio being the other. And when these two are locked away, they'll be set for the Teleconnection St. Leger. Over a mile, 6 furlongs, 132 yards. And the starters' orders, and they race away. A Midnight Legend is the one that's coming through with Broadway Flyer, but Broadway Flyer gets to the front now. This is going to be a searching test of stamina. Broadway Flyer by 2 lengths to Red Root on the outside of Midnight Legend. Settled third is settled 4 is Ionio, with Double Trigger on the outside, but this Broadway Flyer is stretching them. He's clear by 3 lengths to Midnight Legend in second, then Red Root, and then Double Trigger, who's on the outside of Ionio, followed through by Sacrament, and then comes Party Season. Moon Act is the back marker, and already some 12 to 15 lengths off the pace, which is being set by Broadway Flyer. Broadway Flyer by a couple of lengths now to Midnight Legend in second, and then Red Root in third, and Ionio and Double Trigger. A gap then of a couple of lengths to Sacrament, and then Party Season and Moon Act. The 2 outsiders are well out the back, but it's Broadway Flyer. Michael Hill's taking absolutely no prisoners and setting a searching gallop in the Teleconnection St. Leger. Clear by a length and a half to 2 lengths to, in second place, Midnight Legend, and then showing third is Red Root, followed by Ionio and then Double Trigger, with Sacrament the inside of Party Season, and the back marker is Moon Act, but the leader is Broadway Flyer, and he's not stopping. Look at him go. That's Broadway Flyer from Midnight Legend in second, then Red Root in third, and the green cap, that's Ionio, green colours, Double Trigger. Party Season the outside of Sacrament, who's galloping as fast as he can, and he's only a length in front of Moon Act, and it's Broadway Flyer who leads, clear by 2. They've passed the halfway point. It's Broadway Flyer clear by 3 to Midnight Legend in second place, Red Root in third, and that's the 15-8 favourite. Sacrament has 7-2 chances in the blue cap on the right of the picture. Second from last, but Broadway Flyer has kicked 4 clear as they start the turn in. Under 3/4 of a mile to go, and it's Broadway Flyer clear by 3 lengths to Midnight Legend in second, then Red Root on the outside, and Double Trigger the outside of Ionio, and then we have Sacrament the inside of Party Season, and the back marker is Moon Act. They're starting the turn in, and Broadway Flyer at the top of the home run just isn't stopping. He's clear by 3 to 4 lengths. Red Root, the favourite in the yellow colours, is pulled wide for second place. Ionio is getting closer, and it looks as if Midnight Legend has been burned away. Moon Act with a run. Sacrament's going to go for the same gap, no room. At the end, out in trouble, out in front. It's Broadway Flyer, clear by 3 lengths. Green cap, here comes Ionio, Double Trigger, the horse with the big white face. The rank outside, and Moon Act is getting closer. But it's Broadway Flyer with just over 2 furlongs to go in the Teleconnection St. Leger. Here comes Ionio, the green cap, white sleeve jacket. Is Moon Act back in 4th place. Here's the Double Trigger, the favourite will not be winning. That's Red Root, he's out of it. And it's Broadway Flyer keeping up the gallop from Moon Act in second place, who's pressing very hard indeed. And it's Broadway Flyer, and Michael Hills is throwing everything at him. Here comes Moon Act, under Henry going for the 11th classic win. And it's Moon Act, the big outsider. What a shock result. Moon Act takes us in Leger. Moon Act it is. Broadway Flyer second, Double Trigger is third. Then came Sacrament 4 and Ionio 5, followed by Party Season, and then Red Root. Very, very disappointing, beating only 1, and that one was Midnight Legend. And so the result of this, the Teleconnection St. Leger, is a win for number 5, Moon Act, in the colours of Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Barry Hills at 40-1. A colossal result for Pat Edery, his rider, for whom he has already had 10 classic wins, and a notable classic triumph for trainer Barry Hills, whose stable have been very quiet of late, but he's of course won the classic Tap on Wood and Enstone Spark the Guineas, but Moon Act has landed the prize, coming from off a strong pace that was set by the second horse home, number 1 Broadway Flyer. Well battled Broadway Flyer, just not good enough on the day to make Moon Act, this Caerleon horse, who is bred at the Liscana Stud Limited. Would you believe it, your little boy
has come to win a Group 1 race. That's Moonax. Second horse home is Broadway Flyer. Third, we have number 2, Double Trigger, and well has he run for Jason Weaver, but not well enough to take Moonax on his day, who's come back in terrific form. So Pat Heddery gives the horse a well-deserved pat down the neck. This is by far and away his stiffest race, his stiffest challenge, and Pat has managed to take this to Teddy Collection some leisure.
Juddmonte, who's ridden 2 winners already this afternoon. 3, Garden of Heaven, ridden by Brett Doyle. 4 is Mutaram, the early favourite, the overnight favourite, ridden by Willie Carson. 5 is Perfect Imposter, the one Irish runner in the race, ridden by Kevin Manning. 6 is Scribe, trained by John Dunlop, was trained by Jim Bolger, ridden by Willie Supple. 7 is Del Dea, the stable companion of Mutaram, ridden by Frankie Dettori. She has won on soft ground. And number 8, the 1 3-year-old in the race, the St James's Palace Stakes winner, Grand Lodge, unsuited by soft ground, and ridden by Cash Asmussen. Well, there's been some volatile betting, and at the latest count, John Gosden's 2 runners head the market, and Del Dea is the shock favourite. Del Dea back down to 5-2 best. Mutaram, having opened at 5-2, is now an 11-4 shot. Then it's 4-1 Grand Lodge, easy to back. 9-2 Suzanne, 14-1 Environment Friend, 16-1 Scribe, 20-1 Garden of Heaven, and Perfect Imposter. So Mutaram is taken over, passed in the betting by his stable companion, but obviously a major contender to win this race for the 2nd year in succession. Remember, 12 months ago he beat the King George winner, Opera Score.
Opera House moves up on the outside, Market Booster on the far side, Dance Royale between horses there, followed by Mutaram and then Takaruna. Opera House gorgeous to the front now from Mutaram, throwing down a challenge, Market Booster on the inside, and then Dance Royale as they race inside the final furlong. Mutaram has come to tackle Opera House, they fight it out, Mutaram on the near side into the head, Opera House in second, Lords of Beef come a long way back for third, but there's an upset here. Mutaram takes the Irish Champion Stakes.
Mutaram winning last year's Champion Stakes there, but the ground very, very different today, of course, and as they make their way to post for this Guineas Champion Stakes, well, you'll see that they're really tipping into the ground, and Mutaram, well, it was only a decision 48 hours ago to run him in the race. He ran at Chicago in the Arlington Million 12 days ago, and well, the racing manager.
And just off them is Del Dea. They're followed by Garden of Heaven, last year's winner Mutaram towards the outside, ahead of Grand Lodge in the back marker, the sole Irish contender, and that's Perfect Imposter as they head towards the mile pole now. And Del Dea has gone up Frankie Dettori to show half a length in front of Scribe. A length and a half away third, Environment Friend, half a length to Cezanne. Behind Cezanne, Grand Lodge with Garden of Heaven. Between horses, Mutaram and the back marker by a length and a half is Perfect Imposter. They hit the 7 furlong pole, and Del Dea by 3 parts of a length to Scribe. Cezanne and Mick Canaan in 3. Environment Friend, Johnny Murtha the inside in 4. Grand Lodge is running 5, about a neck in front of Mutaram, and a length and a half Garden of Heaven, and the back marker remains Perfect Imposter as they continue now towards the 6 and past that. It's Del Dea by a length to Scribe, 2.5 lengths Cezanne in third. Then Environment Friend, the grey on the inside, Grand Lodge and Mutaram matching strides, 2 in front of Perfect Imposter, who's just edged past Garden of Heaven. Past the 5, the halfway stage, Del Dea the leader by just over a length. Cezanne on the outside of Scribe, and they're being followed by Grand Lodge and Mutaram. Environment Friend has dropped back on the inside as they come towards the 4 furlong pole. Del Dea, Cezanne in second, Scribe runs 3 on the inner. Grand Lodge on the outside of Mutaram, Environment Friend next, then Garden of Heaven and Perfect Imposter. They run down towards the 3 furlong marker just before the home turn. Del Dea, Frankie Dettori, the yellow coloured, Scribe in the white and black, Cezanne McCannan in the all blue on the outside, tracked in 4 by Grand Lodge in the apricot colours, Cash Asmussen off the bend, and it's Del Dea the leader from Cezanne in second as they come to the 2 furlong marker. Del Dea from Cezanne in second. Grand Lodge mounting a challenge on the outside of Mutarum. Scribe has dropped away into the last furlong and a half. Del Dea tackled by Cezanne. Mutarum trying to run on in third. Grand Lodge under the stick on the outside. They're inside the final furlong. Del Dea and Cezanne. Mutarum coming on the outside with Grand Lodge well inside the last 100 yards. Cezanne, Del Dea, Mutarum the near side. Cezanne just in front as they go to the line. Cezanne and McKinnon win the Irish champion. Del Dea second, Mutarum 3, Grand Lodge 4, and they're clear of Environment Friend, followed in by Garden of Heaven and Scribe, and last of all is Perfect Imposter. A really exciting battle there for the Group 1 Guinness Champion Stakes, but I think we'll see that number 1, Cezanne, the supplementary entry, has won this big event, a first prize of £87,300 to the winner in a thrilling photo finish.
Well, Del Dea led him into the straight. Frankie on a nice big loose hold there. I thought when he pressed the button that this filly had him all in trouble behind. Cezanne is aware of her moving, or he's aware of Del Dea's move. Mick Cannan sets about Cezanne. He gets a little bit more serious than Frankie does. Moodaram tracking him. Grand Lodge trying to keep him in a little bit but can't do it. And here we have champion jockeys of England, Ireland, France on the outside, and former champion Willie Carson. But Mick Cannan gets it out in that left hand and he gets serious with Cezanne, really gets stuck into him. Now Frankie is at hard work on Del Dea and all animals are responding, and Environment Friend dropped out of a long ways back. Moodaram is coming there with his chance, and Grand Lodge coming here on the stand side probably finishes best of all. But Cezanne has got his head in front. Mick Cannan has put it down. He's pushed this horse out hands and heels the last half a furlong, and he's held off the late challenge of Moodaram, Del Dea on the inside, and Grand Lodge. Nothing between these horses. They all gave everything, but it was Cezanne's day. Mick Cannan got his head in front about a furlong down, and he wasn't going to be denied.
Well, they're under starters' orders. They're off.
In the Diadem Stakes over 6 furlongs, and very quickly out of the stalls over on the far side, Lake Coniston. Running with Lake Coniston is Petula. Right alone on the near side races Cool Jazz. But as they come through to complete the first furlong or so, it is the favourite Lake Coniston in front of Thusler Rock. On the near side, Cool Jazz running fast. Only just in behind the leaders on the far side is the second favourite First Trump. They've covered just about 2.5 furlongs, and it's Lake Coniston still ahead of First Trump and Thusler Rock, and then Petula. After them come Golden Nashwan and Hard to Figure. They're just coming to halfway in the Diadem Stakes, and still alone on the near side, but right up with the pace is Cool Jazz. They're nearing the last 2.5 furlongs, with Lake Coniston, who's led from the outset, now being tackled by First Trump, so it's the 2 market leaders, 1 and 2. Cool Jazz still very prominent on the near side, trying to get on terms on the far side, Hard to Figure, with Petula next, then Binage. What Splice has it all to do, so too Mortange and Imperial Bailiwick, but it's Lake Coniston from First Trump. These two from Cool Jazz hanging on Darley. Thusler Rock comes next, but running up towards the line, it's going to be Lake Coniston. The first favourite of the day goes in. Lake Coniston lands the Diadem Stakes from the First Trump. Rock.
Starters' orders. They're off.
And La Contessa was slowly out of the stalls, and the first ones to go on are Joral and Snowtown, and only just in behind the leaders and pulling quite freely comes Pure Grain. Musetta has joined the leading group, as also has Miasma up on the outside. So they're coming now towards the end of the second furlong, and it is Snowtown going on. Snowtown taken into the lead by Frankie Dettori, from in second place Miasma, then 3 Musetta. And after a quarter of a mile, racing in 4, Joral, then 5 against the fence is Dance a Dream. Just outside her comes Pure Grain, together with Akarid. And the back marker, last of all, is still La Contessa, who started slowly. So they're coming fast towards the halfway point, with Snowtown still ahead. Snowtown from Miasma, Joral, Pure Grain, Musetta. This is halfway in the fillies mile, and Snowtown is only half a length, if that, up on Miasma now, and then Akarid making very good progress to go into 3 and 4 is Musetta. Then comes Pure Grain, D-Lady making a little ground, Joral hanging on the last 2 La Contessa, and relegated now to 9th and last is Dancer Dream. They're swinging for home as the end of the final straight. Snowtown right against the rails from Miasma, then Akarid, and coming strongly on the outside, both D Lady and the favourite Pure Grain. Then after them, Musetta trying to get through. Jural has quite a bit of ground to make up. They're coming down to the final furlong and a half now, and up front Akarid now takes over from Snowtown. Akarid from Snowtown, Pure Grain coming, so too with a very good late run is Jural. They're inside the final half furlong, and it's Akarid, Willie Carson being tackled now by Jural and Michael Cannan, and then Snowtown, but Akarid gets the fillies mile from Jural, and Snowtown in 3rd place.
They're under starters' orders, they're off.
In the Tote Festival Handicap, this cavalry charge over 7 furlongs, and fast away is threatening. Over on the far side is Orange Place, showing very good early speed. Indian Fly is right up with the pace, so too Wizard King. And Heaver Golf Rose is not far off the leaders, and Ham and Eggs is prominent as well. They're coming down to complete the 2nd furlong. They split into 2 groups. On the near side, it is Ham and Eggs with KV tracking that one, and Mr. Martini. And they're the only 3 on the near side. All the rest have gone over towards the far, except for one horse racing up the centre of the track. That looks like Arab Boy Bill. But right over on the far side, Orange Place is the overall leader. Orange Place from Indian Fly, and then Heaver Golf Rose and Wizard King, and then after them, and making a bit of ground now, My Best Valentine. They're just past halfway in the Tote Festival Handicap. And the group on the far side are headed by Orange Place from Wizard King, and then Indian Fly after them, and making a little ground, My Best Valentine. Still on the near side, Mr. Martini's just gone on from Ham and Eggs and KV. Right at the back of the field, Highland Magic. Last of all is Polonais Prima. A furlong and a half to go, and it's here that Wizard King is taken to the front. Quickly strikes the lead under George Duffield and goes several lengths clear on the far side. KV on the near, though, is coming with a good rattle, but it's Wizard King who's got the advantage from KV. After them, they're making good late headway, Set the Fashion, Murtasha as well, but it's Wizard King, one-way traffic. Wizard King wins the Tote Festival Handicap. Murtasha just hangs on for 2nd in front of KV, and Set the Fashion in the Royal Colours finishes 4th.
They're under starters' orders, they're off.
And racing over the round mile, Ski Paradise comes out of the stall slowly and is last in the early part of the race. The early leaders being Maroof, Distant View, and those 2 are now being hunted up by Maytaf. Sayadati is in the front rank too, So East to the Moon. They're followed by Big Stone. And the back markers in this early part of the race are Barathea with Distant View, and still last of all after that slow start, Ski Paradise. They're coming uphill towards the end of the 2nd furlong, and it is Maroof who leads the field. Maroof from in 2nd place now, Distant Views come through very rapidly indeed, and then comes Sayadati with Maytaf next, and after them Big Stone and Turtle Island, and then reading back to East of the Moon. Last but one still is Barathea, and last of all Ski Paradise. They're on their way to the final 4.5 furlongs, and Maroof, the complete outsider, still heads the field. Maroof by just over a length as they get to halfway in the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes. Maroof it is still from the favourite Distant View, and then Maytaf the filly very close in 3, Sayadati 4, Turtle Island making ground in company with Big Stone. After them, the 2nd favourite East of the Moon, and then comes Barathea, still at the back of the field, Ski Paradise. They're turning for home now as they enter the final 2.5, with Maroof hanging on against the rails. But being unleashed now is Maytaf, trying to come between the 2, Distant View. On the outside, Turtle Island, wider still, Barathea. Just over a furlong and a half to go. Ski Paradise is making late ground. East of the Moon is now lost, but it's Maroof. This could be a major shock here. Maroof staying on really strongly on the far side as Barathea tries to put in a blow on the near side. It's Maroof being tackled now by Barathea, but he's left it late, and it's going to be Maroof. A tremendous shock. Maroof and Richard Hills win the big race from Barathea, Big Stone, and then another Frenchman in 4th, Ski Paradise.
They're under starters' orders, they're off.
In the Royal Lodge Stakes, and fast out of the stalls, the 2 Hamdan Al Maktoum runners, Jayush and Fahal. Also with them, though, is Ella Aristocrati, and on the outside of the field, the favourite Eltish. Well settled is Silka Blanca, who is being followed then on the inside by Stiletto Blade. Karambi, the outsider, is not far off the pace, but it's Ella Aristocrati who is in front. Ella Aristocrati leading the field, and followed in 2nd place by Jayush, then Eltish in 3. They've come a furlong and a half. After those leaders, Fahal with Silka Blanca, Stiletto Blade, And just tucked away hidden is Karambie, and the back marker at the moment is Wakil. That's the order as they near the final 4.5 furlongs of the race, with Ella Aristocrati and Cash Asmundsson still making the running, and followed by Jayush, Eltish, and then Karambie getting closer. This is halfway in the Royal Lodge Stakes. They're fast approaching the home turn. Ella Aristocrati hugging the rail still from Jayush, and then Eltish, the favourite, the complete outsider Karambie being ridden along as Fahal takes closer orders. So too now does Stiletto Blade, coming very strongly indeed on the inside. After him, Silka Blanca, and still at the back of the field is Wakil. They're in line for home as they approach the 2 furlong pole, and it's here that Eltish now strikes the front. Eltish goes on, but only narrowly from Jayush. Stiletto Blade is coming well. So too on the outside, Silka Blanca and Fahal. Right at the back now, Karambie, and still towards the rear, Wakil. Inside the final furlong they come, and it's Eltish first in line for home from Stiletto Blade. The first 2 favourites are first and second at the moment. It's Eltish looking like winning this one. Eltish it is, coming home in front. Eltish completes his hat trick, makes it a double for Pat Edris. Stiletto Blade is second, Jayush third, and Fahal fourth.
The individual favourite